Much for always keeping it TV47. It is Wednesday. Yes, we'd call it midweek or so to say, and it's always good to have you, always good to be here to make sure that your week is doing well or is going on well. I'm here to update you, I'm here to entertain you, I'm here to make sure that you learn some clean art. Actually today we're doing much of just taking you to the kitchen and taking you through a new recipe. We say that at this time when we are locked somewhere at home, it's important that we get creative, do something that we're not used to doing, try something new, enjoy with family, play with the kids in the kitchen. Not really play actually, just get creative in the kitchen with all this food. So it is Tasty Wednesday, and so we'll be teaching you a new recipe, so make sure that you keep it right here. Chef Terry from Gong Hills will make sure that that is what plays out. Importantly, we discuss the ramifications of the lockdown or the stringent measures set by the government, especially on the economy and the different sectors that are being bedeviled as it stands right now. Many people complaining and calling upon President Uhuru Kenyatta to reconsider his stand. Some saying that they are going to go out there and run peaceful demonstrations just to see whether they will capture the attention of the president. But just what will he do is one thing that one would want to understand. We'll be having, a legislature on board, an upcoming or an aspirant governor who will probably ponder on this particular issue. They're equally businessmen, so they'll tell us what it is like right now and what best can be done as an approach to make sure that we cushion people at this point. Many of us losing our jobs, which is very unfortunate, but we can only hope that things are going to get better. So karibu sana once again. Be part of this conversation. #Morning Cafe at Linda_Alela at TV47KE. I'd love to hear from you. Get to sample some of your comments as we proceed with the broadcast, because yes, we value your feedback. And yes, my name is Linda Alela. This is Morning Cafe. We kickstart at exactly right now. So what is the first thing to look at? In most cases, we look at the newspapers, the Daily Nation and the People Daily. What it details: spy agents drone rattle politicians. Here we are. A named gadget flies into Deputy President William Ruto's home compound, that is, and triggered a security alert. Governor Kivutha Kibwana and Senator Kipchumba Murkomen have complained about the aircraft overflying their homes. A story captured on page 4. And operations of drones in Kenya's airspace was legalized last year through the Civil Aviation Act. Just how dangerous or just how lazily can we look at this is one thing that is being followed by the police, and law forbids overflying though and surveillance on photography of a protected area. What could have informed this? Just how dire can this mistake be? And we wait to see what it is that the forces will deliberate on in regards to this. A story captured on page 4, especially at this point of matters, tough politics. I mean, one would definitely get worried in such an occurrence. But away from it, Kenyans hold vigil at Freedom Corner in Nairobi, January the 21st. That is a picture on 2016. And they are likely to probably do the same as they call upon President Uhuru Kenyatta to reconsider his stand. Another one, El Ade, what Somalia knew about the attack. Somali security agencies were privy to the build-up of these Al-Shabaab fighters around El Ade prior to a terror attack on a Kenya military camp that left about 150 soldiers dead 5 years ago, and the militia overran the Kenya Defense Forces camp. The lack of a secure African Union mission to Somalia, AMISOM, a communications system, prevented besieged Kenyan troops from seeking reinforcements from the closest contingent of the regional peacekeeping force in Somalia. Story captured on page 6. And also, even at a time, or coming in at a time when the conversation is on as to just whether we should make sure that our soldiers are back home. I mean, you've seen a clip of a woman complaining that the KDF soldiers in Somalia are a bit too tough on them. Whether it is genuine or not is also something that has raised or has triggered a lot of debate in regards to this. The ordering of the closure of Dadaab and Kakuma is also another story that triggers animosity between these two countries, and worst, the maritime border issue or the dispute that sits along. And anyway, we can wait to see what it is that will play out in regards to the same and how the two countries are going to solve this scenario. Hospitals start giving Sputnik vaccine and the controversy surrounding the Russian COVID-19 vaccine in Kenya deepened. That is yesterday, after hospitals started administering it, even as the health ministry insisted it had not approved its distribution. A story captured on page 10. What will play out? I mean, what is in circulation right now, what the people are getting right now, AstraZeneca. We wait to see how the government is going to react in regards to this. Well, going to our neighbors, Suluhu appoints Mpango as a vice president. Now, the Tanzanian parliament yesterday confirmed the appointment of finance minister, that is Philip Mpango, as the country's vice president. A story captured on page 24, as we all look forward to see them steer the country ahead. I mean, after losing their president, John Pombe Magufuli. Now, kwaheri Mama Sarah Obama, as she led a simple life. So was her funeral, that is yesterday, conducted according to her Islamic faith. The Obama family matriarch, Sarah Ogwell Onyango Obama, was buried at Kogelo in Siaya County. Lots of complaints coming into that. Heavy police, or security forces were there. Even her own grandchildren at some point were not allowed to get into to witness this, which they complained hugely about. And so we'll be looking at all this as we proceed with the broadcast once I have my guests on board. Page 2. Well, a simple barrier on Mama Obama that has been touched on. Teens are acting out because parents have become distant. Just how distant are you from your children? Well, most of you are probably too busy for your own families. You give other matters priority and literally forget your children need your care and attention. That is one thing that has raised concerns, and also lots of conversation as to just how present the parents are. Maybe some of the ills that are witnessed today and are conducted by these young tucks is squarely blamed on this absence of the parents. They are total strangers who leave before daybreak and return past midnight. But just what informs this, how capable are they to be present in the lives of their children, is equally a debate that is on, knowing very well that you're the same person who's supposed to provide, and so much so the generational gap is also one thing that brings in the difference. But well, we can only hope that at some point we strike that balance and find time to stay with family, find time to talk to these children. I mean, they go through transition processes that probably need the attention of an elder so that at least they can be taken through that. And to the People Daily, public servants get improved insurance. A state waves about several legal clauses to allow NHIF extend its functions. That is a story captured on page 6. We wait to see what plays out in regards to that. Let me put this to hold and keep you up to speed as to what is happening. We know that our students have begun their KCAC exams, and that is being conducted. We can tell the processes that are ongoing right now. Professor George Magoha witnessing this as the examiners are opening the examination papers so that it can be distributed to the students and they can officially also get into the examinations. We'll be having our reporters that will be following up on this procedure to keep us up to tabs, and then we tell you what it is that plays out in regards to this, as the Ministry of Education insists that there is need for people to be careful, especially on the aspect of ensuring that it's a process that is clean. Any traces or any individual caught on trying to maybe conduct heinous acts, to cheat on the examinations, will face dire consequences as declared by the Ministry of Education. And there you can see Professor George Magoha witnessing this, and so that at least this can be taken through across different parts of the countries. It is believed that this process is taking center stage across different schools, and so far no reports of delay have been declared. If we can get updates of where this school is, then it becomes good, so at least we can also keep us all up to speed. You can see the opening of the examination papers in process. Professor George Magoha, who's the CS for Matters Education, witnessing this in one of the schools and such is also what plays out across different parts. Our candidates going into an examination at a very tight situation, very tough time. That is right after the country was hit hard and the global fraternity at large by the pandemic, that is COVID-19. The students having been away from school for close to an year and now going to sit for the examinations, probably months earlier. I mean, when there was that delay, and the students that were supposed to have sat for the examinations last year proceeded to sit for the examinations this year. Yes, this is Kibra Olympic. And so they are following up on these particular proceedings so that they can tell us that yes, these students are sitting at this particular moment, of course, day 3 of the process. This is just Kibra, not Olympic, all right? This is Kibra. And yes, the process is on, like I said, across the country. These students are sitting for these examinations a bit late and also, different from the usual moment that we're used to in most cases. And they proceed with the examinations at an earlier stage, so to speak, because in most cases you find that the examinations are conducted in October. It is day 4 of the process. And I mean, we are following up closely on this to see how this will be conducted, how the different students are going to be having their sessions, which subject goes when, just to keep you up to speed. But importantly, we keenly look on how smooth the process will be, as we hope that it's indeed going to be a smooth one across. Most of the students also sitting for the examinations, the girl child, has also been, on this, I don't want to say the bad side of books, but it's not been easy, especially for them that probably also got pregnant. But the Ministry of Education maintains that no child will be denied the right to proceed and sit for the examination just because they got pregnant. And so a majority of them, according to reports, are sitting for these examinations pregnant. Some of them have just given birth, some of them are just almost days to giving birth, others are doing the same or are sitting for the examinations while in hospital, and we can only wish them nothing but the best. Contrary to what we are used to, I mean, even the sending of success cards has been minimal this year, as to the fact that, well, maybe most of even these cards, some schools do not accept or do not approve of the same. There are others, though, that approve of the same, but then again, because of the tough times of COVID-19, it has kept the minds of many as to send their loved ones, best of wishes and the cards, so that they can, sit for the examinations with the confidence that yes, there are people who wish them nothing but the best. It is indeed a different picture, a point where they will be in examination class with their masks on, the aspect of social distancing even, taken a notch higher. And we're having examiners that are a little bit more keen this time around as to how they handle the processes. They also come at a time that many argue they've been away from schools for quite a long time, and maybe they probably would have needed more or extra time so that they can sit for the examinations. But the Ministry of Education equally arguing that they will be considerate, especially when it comes to just how they set the examinations, whether it's the same paper that was set for last year or not, is one thing that is not very clear. But they said they're going to be lenient also when it comes to the marking, with the knowledge of what has played out courtesy of COVID-19. And so the procedure is there. That is Kibra, as the Ministry of Education is following up closely and, has sent officials across the different parts of the country to make sure that the examination papers get to the destination on time, and no student misses out on the examination just because, well, it hit their late, or maybe the papers did not get to the respective schools, and other complications of life, just because maybe they did not have pay school fees, or maybe they had registered and maybe their names are not on the register, that every other student will be allowed to sit for their KCSE SE examination. Remember, last week we're also following up closely on the KCPE examinations, and I mean the process was smooth, or so to speak, maybe contrary to what it is that we are used to, or what it is that we expected at a time when, you know, still teachers were trying to get back to ground after staying away from school for close to 11 months or so. I mean, more than expected. And now they were just trying to see to it that they are also able to get the other students, you know, settling down at a time when there is also that inception of the new curriculum, the competence-based curriculum. And so much is happening. We have seen the assessment tests being conducted for the likes of class 4, and it's a whole different affair this time around. But all the same, the Ministry of Health, of Education, maintains that they are up to task. They are set for this, and therefore no student should be locked out of the process. While reports coming also from the Ministry of Education, though not with clear numbers, that some students did not report back to school. That is after the pandemic, and still investigations being conducted, chiefs being called upon to go to different home states to ensure that, yes, these students get back to school. I mean, it is been a tough one, and also coming at a point where the Ministry of Education continues to grapple as to how best they can be able to handle this, the new curriculum, the welfare of the teachers, also cater for the student-teacher ratio, the ratio of the teacher-student ratio, where we're being told there are very many students, but the number of teachers are way below. At some point in time also, the TSC and Education's Ministry advertising for new slots for teachers, and a majority of them took up the challenge. It just, you know, all this coming in a bid to ensure that that ratio is balanced. And so much has been happening. The fights that continue to sit in between KUPPET, NAT and the TSC, and so much so. But bottom line is that our students get the chance to sit for these crucial examinations that determine their next step of life. And so, like I said, we'll have our reporters on ground, our education's reporters, Andreen Kilemi, and we also have Sharon Baranga, who will closely follow up on these events and will keep us up to speed. As of now, we can only say that we keep wishing our students nothing but the best. Like I have said, it is day 4 of the process of KCSE examinations across the different counties in the country, and the process is ongoing so far, and not much of worrying reports as to day 4, but I mean tenets and, you know, here and there bits of reports of cheating ongoing. But then again, Ministry of Health says that every individual that will be caught doing that will face dire consequences. And to that, let's leave that one at that, and we come back and expound some more on what it is that the People Daily details. Drone at Ruto's home sparks security alert. I think that one I've already touched on also. But then the police are probing this. Detectives grill British national, a neighbor whose gadget strayed into the deepest private residence in Nairobi. A story captured on page 4. On the other side, Deputy President William Ruto also getting his vaccine, that is Sputnik vaccine. I mean, amid all these controversies that, yes, the Ministry of Health has not approved of it, but then again, a government official, top government official for that matter, has taken the Sputnik jab. All, I mean, in a bid to tame the spread of COVID-19, as we all hope that indeed they will be instrumental enough to work on that. Mama Sarah lay to rest in Kogelo. We've also touched on that. Page 2, Magoha kicks NYS officers out of exam centers. That is also one thing that has been discussed in regards to just handling the examinations. There is also that fear and tension that is normally brought by the, you know, police being around, the environment becomes scaring at some point in time. So, well, this move by CS for Matters Education probably looked at as a good move, but that is not to say then they will not be present towards ensuring that the processes are conducted well. And nations should come up with treaty on pandemics. That is according to President Uhuru Kenyatta, amid all these virtual sessions that are normally conducted across different parts with different leaders from different countries, just in a bid to focus on how best the pandemic can be handled, and just having a common approach as to how best we can deal with the same. Mama Sarah laid to rest, that is page 2. Raila plots to tame Sacred Alliance ahead of 2022 polls. ODM leader Raila Odinga is said to be cobbling up a new team to counter on the Kenya movement, comprising his rivals who are leaders of key political parties. And so much is playing out in regards to matters politics. Some of them, that is allies of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, arguing that at this point, when the country is struggling with matters COVID-19, then probably BBI, as much as would be one thing that they have pushed for, is not a priority. A priority then would be channeling those funds to getting vaccine for the sake of the lives of Kenyans. And we wait to see what it is that plays out in regards to that. So we'll be following up on these stories later on alongside my guests, just to see what is happening. And briefly on the roads, no cause for alarm. It's a Wednesday, so you always realize that as the week comes to an end or the week goes, in most cases the traffic is not as bad. They say why you find traffic on a Monday is because most of the people also are traveling back into the city, but then the travels were banned, so Monday wasn't as bad on the roads. And probably now that gets me convinced on that analogy as to why people argue that there's so much traffic on a Mondays. And well, coming to Wednesday, it is not bad this morning. This is Thika Road. You would be surprised to look at Thika Road, and it is looking this good all the way down. It's a smooth ride. If you're coming from Thika Road, you can tell that this is around Kahawa, Skari there, and now you go down to Githurai. It is evidently not bad as you get down to the city. So Thika Road is not looking so bad, apart from this bit where you get to Pangani around Muthaiga there. In most cases, when they come to connect as you get to the city, is when you could get some tenets of traffic, but it does not look bad. On this other side, this is Jogoo Road. Well, Jogoo Road, there is some tenets of traffic there, as you can see from Makadara as always, and then you find this traffic, but then again, it is evidently moving as you come to connect to this side of Lusaka Road. That does not look so bad this morning also, and as you get to this side of Gikomba, yes, you can tell there's some tenets of traffic, but at least there is movement, so to speak. And this is Bunyala Road, is an ease this morning down to Mbagathi Road and the likes of Langata. It does not look bad this morning. This is Mbagathi and this is Langata, evidently looking all smooth this morning. As you come to connect to the Southern Bypass, the Southern Bypass is equally as smooth this morning. And down, let's see what other road is here. And going down to this one, it is not looking so bad. And here we go. Let's see. This is Mombasa Road. Mombasa Road only at this bit of Imara Daima. And the likes of Cabanas is where you find traffic. Well, most of the cars are coming from this side of Embakasi, that is Airport Road, connecting to Mombasa Road. There is heavy traffic here all the way down. I don't know what informs this. In the event that you're in that direction, kindly keep us up to speed. Yes, Cabanas all the way to Imara Daima, you find that there's this traffic, and then it gets here, there's some roadworks that is happening, and then it starts easing up and going all the way down to the Nyayo National Stadium. You find some tenets of traffic around Capital. Then here you are, there is not much of traffic. Actually, there is no traffic at all. And so you come connect to the likes of Bunyala Road. It is looking all rosy this morning on the roads. Ngong Road is here. And as you can tell, Ngong Road to and from town, this is around the Prestige Plaza all the way. Ngong Road is looking good this morning, so no cause for alarm. This is State House Road, also not looking bad this morning. As you can see, it will connect us to the likes of Lavington, Kileleshwa, not looking bad. This is James Gishuru. James Gishuru evidently looking good as you connect to Gitanga Road here, where you proceed to Kawangware. It is evidently looking good. You can tell there's not much of traffic. And bringing us to this side where it connects to the likes of Westlands, that is Waiyaki Way. And as you can see around Kianda School, Waiyaki Way, Mountain Mall, all the way down, Waiyaki Way is looking good. This is the ABC place. No cause for alarm, honestly. Today the roads are looking so good, but you are constantly reminded to be careful. I mean, drive safe, make sure that you are aware of what the road looks like around you, the people who are around you. Be careful for the sake of the other road users and for yourself. So drive safe, as our very own guy who takes us through what plays out on the road tells us constantly. You should be a driver who's extremely careful, not a vehicle mover, because in most cases you hit the road and you're a vehicle mover more than you are a driver. So be careful this morning. Anything that plays out around where you are, kindly keep us up to speed so we can all be on alert. And that's it. Let's now pick the stories that have been prepared by my team. Deputy President William Ruto and his family received their COVID-19 vaccine, assuring Kenyans of its safety. And this is as the Ministry of Health announced possible delays of the second batch of the AstraZeneca vaccine due to the decision by the Indian government to halt all international supplies in order to focus on its domestic demands only, as Zainab Mohammed tells us.
Close to 2 months since the onset of the COVID-19 vaccination exercise, more and more fear seems to continue to surround the exercise, with the Ministry of Health now saying the administration of the second dose of the vaccine in May may be negatively impacted as a result of the decision by the government of India to halt all international supplies in order to concentrate on domestic demands only.
So far, we were expecting that by May we will be receiving some additional vaccines somewhere between April or May, but we've just gotten the communication from Gotv saying that there may be a delay because of the decision by the Indian government to basically stop the exportation of the vaccine and focus on their own domestic market.
The ministry further warning that the expiry date of the first batch of AstraZeneca vaccines is fast approaching, and should the vaccines expire before use, the COVAX facility may reduce the country's allocations.
The vaccine, the stocks that we have, the 2 batches we received, they expire in 2021, and because of the demand that has been created, we are confident that the vaccines will not expire on us. But this is something that we are really alive to, because if we allow any vaccine to expire on us, then automatically Gotv through the COVAX platform will reduce our allocation further.
This even as the Embassy of Russia confirms the arrival and use of the Sputnik vaccine in Kenya. Some Kenyans taking the opportunity to announce that they have received the first jab of the Russian-based COVID-19 vaccine. However, through a statement to newsrooms, the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya has condemned the unauthorized marketing of COVID-19 vaccine on social media, saying all COVID-19 vaccines approved for use in Kenya have been authorized under emergency use only.
As a ministry, we have been moving very, very slowly in that space in terms of even approval of the vaccines. Even though Sputnik is in the country, not a single person has received that Sputnik vaccine.
More than 130,000 people have been vaccinated so far, including the Deputy President William Ruto and his family. Ruto, whilst receiving the vaccine Tuesday evening, has assured Kenyans of its safety, urging all to go for the jab. Zainab Mohammed, TV47.
And as the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic continues to strike, statistics show that the virus has been prevalent more among men than women, with men forming about 62% of collective infections, while women form 32%. While it remains scientifically unclear why that is the case, other factors such as disregard to COVID-19 measures by most men than women have been touted to be behind the rising COVID-19 infections among men. Now, but have Men really dropped the guard, while women, on the other hand, continue to adhere to the measures, thus keeping the virus at bay. Among them, well, our reporter David Muthoka tells us more.
It is a Tuesday midday like any other at Kibra Slums, Nairobi. Here, residents are going about their business as usual, but something is literally amiss among most of the men we come across. If it is not a face mask, it definitely is lack of social distancing. Not even a sign of a mask is on any of the men who pass by. It is neither on their chin nor in their hands. But on the other hand, most of the women we bump into have donned their face masks, clearly not bowing to the pressure around. The contrast is palpable, yet no one is alarmed. Such are the scenes that have continued to be witnessed in most parts of the country in the past few weeks, just before President Uhuru Kenyatta reissued a ban on political gatherings, the disregard of COVID-19 measures in political rallies, most of which are male-dominated, characterized both ends of the podium. This saw the rallies become super spreaders of the coronavirus and ultimately led to the outbreak of the third wave of COVID-19. But does the defiance have everything to do with the prevalence of COVID-19 infections among more men than women? According to Health Director General Patrick Amoth, since the country recorded its patient zero, 62% of all confirmed COVID-19 cases have been male, while 38% of the people who have tested positive to the virus are women. Lately, between March 15th and March 30th, 9,505 men tested positive for the virus compared to 8,300 women. In that of just 2 weeks, on 2 occasions only did the number of women who had contracted COVID-19 per day so higher than that of men. Tuesday was not any different. 1,530 confirmed COVID-19 cases for the past 24 hours. 842 were men, while 688 were women from a sample size of 8,010 tests. This brings the total number of infections to 132,646, while the number of cumulative tests conducted 1 year on is 1,480,250. 129 people are reported to have recovered from the virus in the past 24 hours, while 12 lost the battle to COVID-19. For the umpteenth time, Nairobi emerged top among counties with the most infections with 686 cases. Nakuru follows with 164, Kiambu 151, Kitui 68, and Nyeri 57. In a situation where it takes two to tango, men have visibly been missing in action, proven to be the weakest link in the fight to keep COVID-19 at bay. David Muthoka, TV47 at Kibra Slums, Nairobi.
Our Senate Standing Committee on Health recommended the prosecution of suspended KEMSA CEO Jonah Manjari and 5 others at the KEMSA scandal. Now, the committee, in its report, further recommended the investigation of companies that were awarded tenders by KEMSA as the probe continues.
The Senate's Health Committee has concluded its investigations into the KEMSA scandal with a conclusion that suspended KEMSA CEO Jonah Manjari and 5 other officials be investigated over alleged procurement irregularities. In their report, the committee accuses Manjari of masterminding a 7.6 billion shilling scandal on the procurement of COVID-19 medical equipment. Manjari's co-accused include Charles Juma, Director Procurement, Eliud Murithi, Director Commercial Services, Frederick Wanyonyi, Director Legal Services, Edward Njoroge Njuguna, Director of Operations, and Waiganjo Karanja, Director Finance and Strategy. The Senate Committee has also recommended that the Office of the DPP and DCI investigate the CEO KEMSA and the Board of Management of KEMSA for contravening several provisions, that the Office of the DPP and DCI investigate the companies that were awarded awarded tenders by KEMSA to determine if there was any collusion between KEMSA and the directors of the companies in contravening of the PPADA and the PFMA and the debarment of any company. The State Corporation Advisory Committee undertake an audit into the conduct of the Board of Directors of KEMSA and the Board of Management of KEMSA in accordance with Section 27 of the State Corporations Act and make recommendations to the President and the CS4 Ministry of Health. An audit be undertaken of the existing reporting structures, financial disclosure mechanisms and internal audit processes in KEMSA, a review of existing regulations to provide for an elaborate framework for the conduct by procuring entities, among other recommendations. Meanwhile, the National Assembly's Public Investments Committee investigating the KEMSA scandal continued to grill some of the officials at KEMSA Tuesday.
Who were signatories to payments of goods and services provided to KEMSA.
The signatories to the payment?
Yes.
It was the CEO and one other category B signatory, of which it could be me or one other signatory.
Who is the other?
That time the other was the commercial director.
Who is Eliud Muridi?
Nobody is yet to be charged over the loss of billions of shillings at KEMSA. Daniel Masiza, TV47.
Now, the BBI Secretariat Co-Chair Junet Mohammed has dismissed as rumors allegations of possible divisions between the BBI principals Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta. Junet has also refuted claims that the office of the BBI Secretariat had been moved to the Interior Ministry. The Suna East Member of Parliament further also took a swipe at NASA principals, accusing of staging plans to divide the handshake principles.
Secretariat bado yuko ofisi yake, hata leo nilikuwa kama co-chair. The Secretariat is operating and functioning very well. Number one. And secondly, don't push ODM out of BBI by force. There are forces who have, small boys who have come to town now, who really want to push ODM out of BBI. I don't know for what reason.
It's a statement by the BBI co-chair Junet Mohammed dismissing reports of moving the BBI Secretariat offices to the Ministry of Interior. Junet further dismissing any possible rifts between the two BBI principals and the handshake, which the Suna East MP says is still stable.
Kama fisi ambaye wanangoja, wanatembea nyuma ya handshake na BBI, wanafikiri mkono itaanguka. Watangoja paka dunia iishe. Hakuna siku tutawachana na BBI, na hakuna siku tutawachana na handshake, na hakuna siku tutawachana na agenda ya kuunganisha wa Kenya.
This comes as divisions are witnessed in the NASA Brigade and the ODM party of the BBI report as new alliances take shape. The National Assembly Minority Chief Whip is accusing the NASA principals of trying to cripple the handshake.
Wataachana na BBI. We want to tell ODM that BBI is not your document. Sasa hivi BBI ni document ya Wakenya wote. Kama nyinyi mnataka kuachana na BBI, nyinyi wachaneni nayo. As sasa hiyo document iko kwa mikono ya Wakenya, and we shall take it to the greater heights zenye nafaa iende kule.
ODM is one of the parties that have huge stake in the BBI as a party. How do you walk out of your own agenda? How do you walk out on your own, constitutional amendment bill? I represent ODM as a co-chair in the Secretariat. Have I resigned from the Secretariat? No.
Further, the Joint Justice and Legal Affairs Committee is on spot for allegedly working in secrecy and without pointing out its timelines. However, Junet Mohammed says the BBI reggae is still on.
So I expect them to make their own decision, which is based on justice. So the BBI is on course. Reggae is on course. And I can tell you, latest by July, God willing, we are going to have a referendum in Kenya.
Nonetheless, skepticism is growing even among ODM party top officials, with some already having resigned to fate that a referendum is not feasible this year.
With many hurdles facing the BBI process, the current one is the NASA ODM rivalry, which is threatening to derail the whole process. Elizabeth Motuko, TV47 Palm Buildings, Nairobi.
Now, are still in Parliament, and the adjournment of Parliament for the next 1 month will affect the House business a great deal and alter the Parliament's calendar for the remainder of the year. Some of the things expected to be affected by this unprecedented recess is the BBI Constitution Amendment Bill and the budget-making process that is already in progress.
Following President Uhuru Kenyatta's advice to the speakers of the National Assembly and Senate to suspend ordinary parliament sittings amid a sharp surge of COVID-19 infections in the country, the bicameral house has moved in to effect the directive. Both houses will be adjourned for more than a month, with the Senate suspending its sittings up to 11th of May. The National Assembly is expected to adjourn until the 29th of April. Throughout this period, when both houses will be adjourned, members of different parliamentary committees will be meeting, albeit virtually, to proceed with house businesses. The referendum drumbeats have been paused indefinitely, with the BBI Constitutional Amendment Bill of 2020 put on hold until the houses resume plenary sittings.
Indomitable member for Endebess.
The referendum that had been projected to take place in June will be halted as both houses have to debate the report of the Joint Justices and Legal Affairs Committee before the bill goes to the next step. The budget-making process, which is ostensibly in its advanced stage, will indubitably be affected by the closure of these houses. With the suspension of cabinet and parliament sittings, the government's calendar will be altered till the COVID-19 third wave curve is flattened. Mwangi Maina, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, 3 men were Tuesday evening arrested and a sachet of weapons recovered from them in a police operation in Lagdera, Garissa County, now transporting 8 AK-47 rifles, 2,104 rounds of ammunition and 20 liters to an unknown destination. Then they were intercepted. Police termed the recovery a win in the war on terrorism. The police also confirmed that the weapons are not Kenyan because they have not been registered in the country. The 3 men, identified as Nur Ibrahim, Alasso Hadabdob, Jimali Abey Muhammad Griftu, and Abdirazak Mohammed Ali Elwak, are from Somali origin but had Kenyan identity cards.
Ni punduki 8, zote ni aina ya AK-47, wale mnaweza ona, na iko na magazini zake 8, na kulikuwa na risasi 2004 yes. Na hizo punduki zingine ukiangalia kama hii nimeshika, hii inatumiwa na SNA. Sisi hatutumii. SNA ni ya Somalia, jeshi ya Somalia ndio wanatumia hizi punduki. Hii aina hii hatuna hapa Kenya, lakini kama hii ile imeshikwa na mwenzangu hapa na zingine zote tuko nazo Kenya. Hii SNA ni 2 ambao zimeshikwa. Walikuwa wameziweka nyuma ya hiyo gari na zote walikuwa wameconceal. Vile mnaona nimeshika hii, walikuwa wamefunika zote namna hii. Wamefunga na hiyo shuka, zote zilitolewa na zimewekwa chini ya huko. Marisasi ambao nimesoma ni 2004, mnaziona hapo, zilikuwa zimewekwa kwa hizo containers, hiyo 5 liter containers. Zilikuwa zimewekwa ndani na zikafungiwa, ukawa uwezi jua kama marisasi. Hiyo ni petroli yao, walikuwa wamebeba jerikani 2 ya petroli. Nafikiri hizo jerikani 2 ilikuwa ya kuongezea magari zao mafuta.
And we'll be having more stories coming your way on our subsequent bulletins. It's now time that we get to the conversation, but not before we look at the papers alongside my guest. And we'll be having Honorable Member of Parliament of Embakasi North, that is James Gakuya, and we also expect to get a hold of Dr. Moses, who will be joined. That is Dr. Moses Mwangi, who will be joining us virtually as we get to discuss the day's progress. But importantly, we'll also be looking at the tough times that have been occasioned by the numerous laws that have been set aboard in regards to taming COVID-19, especially on this disease-infected zone that President Uhuru Kenyatta declared it the other day, that is on Friday last week. And we're talking about 5 counties, well, inculcated together. And so we'll be discussing that. We just get to understand whether the gentlemen have an opinion that would probably be friendly to, be given to President Uhuru Kenyatta. So maybe he can revive these tough measures, because Kenyans argue that the situation is getting dire for them at this point, when they have to fend for their families, when many of them have lost their jobs, when many of them are staring at tough times ahead. The fear is real. And while the president could be having this good motive of saving the lives of Kenyans, it is equally important that he understands that other side of the tough economic times that they are going through. Mheshimiwa, how are you?
I'm good, Linda.
Good to have you this morning.
Thank you.
And briefly, let's look at the papers before we get to that discussion that is crucial. I'd want to believe that you're a business person as much as you are a member of parliament, and I know that times are extremely tough. But before we get into that, spy agents, drones rattle politicians. Well, while the law forbids overflying surveillance or photography of a protected area, this played out differently yesterday. A named gadget flies into Deputy President William Ruto's home, triggering a security alert. What do you make of this?
Rita, my take on this is that the drone might be accidentally found itself into the neighbor's ground, or probably it was purposed to be there.
Yeah.
So this one we can only leave to the investigators, and I have seen that both the NIS and the rest of the DCI team has embarked on this particular investigation, and already the one concerned with the drone has already been arrested, and I believe that he's assisting the investigators in more information, and probably in due course we are going to get the full report on this particular case. We have issues to do with the previous complaint between Senator Murkomen and also the
governor,
Makueni governor, over the same that actually this kind of drone are overpassing their houses, and probably there has to be something in Sister, or probably there are some kind of investigations going on. This is a matter that at least in the shortest time possible we need to be told and given a very clear statement whether there are those kind of investigation going on without our knowledge. Probably we know the government operations operate in different ways, and they does their investigation in various number of angles, and I don't expect to relate this one. Being a Briton, I don't want to relate him to that particular aspect. But I'm sure that in fact before the down, I'm sure that the security regions need to tell Kenyans exactly what was transpired and how did the drone found itself in the home of the deputy president.
And true to it, well, one would want to ask then, what investigations? That's a question mark, and why one would want to assume that there could be investigations that are being conducted in the home of the DP. Well, considering the fact that so much has been talked about that has been leveled against him in regards to matters, corruption and so much so, and also the political charge that is in the country as at now. But then just how careless can one get, Mheshimiwa? Honestly, I'd want to assume that if this is the DP's neighbor, then they are privy to the fact that that is the DP's homestead. They understand how crucial security is and how it is important to keep a distance. I mean, how careless can one get that they would get this drone going into this other side accidentally?
My take in this is that depending on the evidence that the owner of this drone will give. That will necessitate to know whether there was intentions or deliberate measures. And that's only where we can, if that was the case, we must see reads to do with what we call prosecution out of this. And that's why I'm totally relying with investigators to give us the clear report of this, because surely it is a serious kind of suspect that there is such a kind of gadget cannot find itself into a neighbor, a well-known neighbor, that the neighbor is not just a normal neighbor, is a neighbor who has what we call protection measures by the state. And want to become such a careless to release the drone to find itself on the deputy president's house, it tells you it's a bit suspicious. And only time will tell whether this was deliberate measure or whether this was an accident.
All right. Yeah. Okay, we leave it at that. As you have rightfully put it, this is a matter that is under investigations. We can only wait to see what plays out into that. Let's speak about the vaccines, and they are here in the country. The DP equally got his jab of Sputnik yesterday. On the other hand, we're talking about Sputnik having not been approved by the Ministry of Health, and you know, the fact that it has found its way into different private entities. And on the other hand, the DP, you know, a high official in the country, or government official, equally gets this particular Russian vaccine. And again, the fears that are on board is that, well, the current AstraZeneca jab 2 would probably get, you know, to be delayed before it gets into the country. That is after India says that their main focus first is on the locals, and then they will see how then this gets to the rest of the country. What happens to the individuals that have already taken the first jab and are waiting for the second one, so that it becomes a full dose?
Rita, I still believe that in fact mechanisms have been put in place to make sure that if one took a dose that is a Russian dose, has to get the second dose, because there is no way you can mix the two. But now that at least the ministry is trying to tell the public that they have not yet made the recommendations for this Russian product, I still ask myself, how then did the vaccine found itself here if it has not recommended to be part of the vaccine that we intend to give Kenyans? Somebody has been served in his job. There is no way that the ministry can start now giving doubts that actually that it has not yet approved, and until when it will make it does the approve, and how does it find itself in the market? How does it find itself in the circulation if it is not yet approved? That is a big question that actually will require straight answers by the ministry shortest time possible. And the other thing to do with the other vaccine from India, I still believe that if we believe that that is the vaccine that we intend to supply to our local users, then measures have to be put in place to make sure that there is availability of it in the market. Because there is no way that somebody can tell us that just wait until we service our domestic purpose, and when we are through, then we can be able to sell outside. It tells you that you people, if you are affected, stay affected until when we are through with it and when we get satisfied. Then it tells you that you cannot keep waiting for that particular route. You must look for alternative route and alternative measure. And therefore, I would advise the ministry to move very quickly and look to other vaccines that are available and that can be get to circulation with immediate effect without delay.
All right. Point of clarification, Mheshimiwa. I am told that yes, this approval, it actually was done last week. I remember going through that particular story. The approval was done. What is not approved of is the circulation just yet, and therefore clarification on that. What is being discouraged now is the advertisement of the same. And so while it is approved of, it is important that then the Ministry of Health speaks of how this is going to be disseminated and circulated across the different parts, and therefore we'll be following up closely. Remember, they've also given reports on the fact that there's been some level of apathy, but then again, people are receiving it all well, and a majority are going out there to get the jabs. So we'll be having also Dr. Moses, who's also in the world of medicine, that will tell us his view in regards to this particular one, and that way then we can take a short break from that. Let me allow him to say something small in a minute or so. Daktari, good morning. It's been quite a while since we last had you, but we're happy to have you this morning, and you're coming at a time when the vaccine is here, in circulation for that matter, but then most of the people are still skeptical as to whether indeed this is a good thing, this is not a good thing, and also at a time when, yes, the third wave is hitting us so hard.
Thank you very much, Linda. I greet you, and I also greet Mheshimiwa Kakuya and all the viewers.
Thank you.
Morning. On this story of Sputnik vaccine, I think let's put the matters in perspective. The vaccine that we have in Kenya, AstraZeneca, Oxford, is a vaccine that has been approved by the health authorities in the UK, where it originates initially. It's approved by the World Health Organization mechanism, and it's also approved by the Indian health authorities, where it is manufactured under license from AstraZeneca, and then it is approved by the Pharmacy and Poisons Board in Kenya. So that vaccine also has come through a mechanism created by the World Health Organization. It is the vaccine we need to have in Kenya. Now, when we come to the Russian vaccine, I think we need to say it as it is. The Ministry of Health, the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, jumped the gun, because this vaccine has not been approved by the World Health Organization, and therefore, and neither has it been cleared by CDC Africa. We have a CDC Africa mechanism based in Addis Ababa.
Yeah.
So I think they found themselves, they jumped the gun, they looked at the data may look good, but you see, for emergency use, and we are currently in emergency use,
yes,
we need people to go to the manufacturing facility and establish the manufacturing process, not just looking at the documents. And therefore, I think the Ministry of Health has found itself in a catch-22, where the right does not know what the left has done. And the right position is that that vaccine should not, as of now, be made available to the Kenyan public, because it has not cleared all the hurdles.
Well, the deputy president took the jab, Daktari, probably as a show of confidence, and also getting people to believe that indeed this is worth a jab. Leaves us wondering whether then we should have some level of doubt, and also acknowledging how radical and thorough Russia can be. I mean, one would probably get convinced that maybe, in as much as it has not gone through all these processes of approval, it could be worth a jab. We'd love to hear from you on that, but first let's take this short break and then come back.
Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on the Throwdown, and I'll be showing you how to make this no-bake dessert. Quite easy no-bake desserts. The Scottish Cranachan and the apple crumble.
umesimamia mfanyikazi hapo, hakuna maji imewekwa.
Yes.
ECF ni East Coast Fever. ECF actually is carelessness. It's pricey, but it's sure bet.
It's sure bet.
Yeah.
Join us this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. as we head to Machakos to learn all about small-scale dairy farming.
On the next episode of Garden of Eden.
There are 1,000 red flags, and the thing is, you have an instinct, you have a gut, you know when something's off.
Should we get to a point where he says we are now dating officially, or how does our picture look like?
Nobody does that in this generation. You don't even ask a girl out anymore. You just sort of you know. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you know, because there's give and there's take.
Every Wednesday at 10 p.m. On the next episode of The Realtor.
We will talk about bungalows and lighting, how important it is to have the right light for your house.
I need to make my space look good. We see all these inspirations in the net and we want to do that.
That excitement of jumping to take something because you like it is what makes people go wrong. After that, you can resell your house or you can enjoy your house and your life is happy.
The Realtor, every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. On the next episode of The Grind.
My name is Robert Kanyoro. I'm a software developer. There is no generally a difference between a software developer and a software engineer. The skill that I came out with from the university.
Well, our Honorable Member of Parliament of Embakasi North, James Gakuya, and governance expert and political aspirant, Dr. Moses Mwangi, with us this morning. Still, Dr. we come back to you before we come to Muheshimiwa. And just getting back to that particular question, what does it speak of this vaccine that we speak of, the numerous controversy that surrounds it?
Now, first of all, let's get it right. The Russian vaccine is a good vaccine.
Yeah.
From clinical trials, from clinical data, it's a good vaccine. And so we are not questioning the Russian scientists because they have done the studies, but they are required to submit an application to the World Health Organization, which has a global responsibility on health and safety in this kind of an environment. So before a country like Kenya can be able to say we have licensed, we need to make sure that at that level. So I'm not questioning and I'm not challenging that vaccine be good. But let me ask you, Linda, of the viewers, when you go to a clinic to receive a vaccine, you just go and present yourself. The healthcare professional who gives you the vaccine, they have that vaccine there. It is appropriately kept. The question is, because that vaccine from manufacturing to the time you receive it, it is supposed to be kept in the cold chain between 2 degrees and 8 degrees. Just work backwards. Where did that vaccine come from? Which pharmacy brought it? Or which company brought it? Go backward. From when it was manufactured. Was it kept in the cold chain? Was it transported in the cold chain? Did it arrive at the clinic in the cold chain? So the vaccine that you receive, you must have confidence that it has gone through all the necessary safety measures so that it remains efficacious. Now, who is responsible at this time, when we are dealing with the health emergency, because at the moment it's an emergency approval. In Kenya, it is the government of Kenya that has to be responsible and has to assure the public that we are sure that this vaccine is okay. Now, when it comes, and it doesn't matter whether it is imported by a private player, there must be oversight in terms of the whole process from manufacturing to the clinic where you receive the vaccine. Now, when the government of Kenya, the Ministry of Health in this matter, says that we have not cleared the vaccine, who else can tell us that the vaccine is good? So if the Deputy President has received that vaccine, the question I will ask, does it mean that the Deputy President knows how this vaccine came into Kenya?
Okay.
We want to begin to ask that, because there is a government, there is a Ministry of Health, he is the Deputy President. The government and the Ministry of Health are saying this, and he has gone this other way. And this vaccine has come through a private mechanism. When there is already available in Kenya a vaccine that is free for every Kenyan, and there is more that is coming. Kenya has been allocated through the COVAX mechanism of the WHO 24 million doses. The reason we haven't received them is because the manufacturers are not able to cope with the global demand. And therefore, when the left arm of the government, you go and receive a vaccine, then we begin to ask as Kenyans, maybe he knows how it came here. Maybe there may be some interest that he wants to portray. And I'm speaking as a healthcare practitioner and knowing very, very well, and I've been in the vaccine space for a long time. And we want to make sure, and it is important the government to make sure, and the whole global health mechanism to make sure that people receive a safe and effective vaccine. If anything happened to anyone who received this Russian vaccine in Kenya today, and the government has said is not yet approved, the World Health Organization has said not yet, the CDC Africa has said not yet. So who will be responsible? And that can kill the whole effort of trying to protect people against COVID. So in my view, I think it is inappropriate for that.
All right, well, our Mheshimiwa here has a question for you.
Yes, Daktari. First and foremost, it looks very devastating when you face the public and create such kind of fear to the public. One, the biggest question I need you to respond to the public is, how did the vaccine from Russia found its way to Kenya market? How did it?
Was it last week on Tuesday that I had that story? It was approved by Poisons Board.
If the government has a question mark on it, from the first point, why did the government allow us to get into the borders of the country, and not when they were very sure that is a product that they are not sure of? Number two, Poison Board, as a trusted agency to tell public whether the product is a good product or not. That you won't tell us that this particular product has not gone through the inspection or verification of this particular agency. And for sure, how does it find itself in the market? Because really, you can only move to this particular alternative measure of vaccine because it's available in the market. And our question is, how does it find itself in the market, and how does the government allow it to be in sale if it does not recognize it?
I think that's a very pertinent question, Mheshimiwa. Very pertinent question. And you see, when you ask the question, how does the government? Who is the government?
Me and you.
In this case, it is the Ministry of Health. The responsibility for Ministry of Health, the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, is to register, to review the data presented, to review the mechanism, whether that vaccine is good.
Yeah.
And I'm not in any way saying that the vaccine is not good. The data is okay. It's only that at the moment, approval for vaccines for COVID are at the emergency, because we are still in the very early days of this vaccine. And therefore, what is supposed to happen? That's why I say the Pharmacy and Poisons Board jumped the gun, because they ought to have confirmed with the CDC Africa, with the WHO, even though the data before them is okay, before they actually registered. And I think that's why the government has said we have not yet cleared. How did the vaccine come? In fact, you should ask yourself, Mheshimiwa and the rest of the people. This vaccine, I know the date it was approved by the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. And the same date, the vaccine was in Nairobi. How? So that is where we begin. And that is why I question anybody. If the government has said, look, we have not yet authorized. And remember, the vaccine available for AstraZeneca is available free of charge. It is not the Kenyan taxpayer who has paid. It is through a mechanism organized through the World Health Organization. There are some good people who have put money in a bag, and they are trying to they have secured 2 billion doses to be shared in developing countries. And this vaccine is supposed to have access. And government is supposed to oversee the distribution of this vaccine. I am a believer. I am in private sector, in health for many, many years. And I would like to see, these things come. But we are in a very different setting. So the questions you are asking, and I will ask the same. How is it that the Pharmacy and Poison Board can register the vaccine today, and tomorrow morning it is available in the Kenyan market? There is something that is amiss here.
Okay.
And that is why I'm saying anybody who then, especially a senior government officer in the same government, who goes and demonstrates this vaccine is good, I begin to question. Maybe they know how it came.
All right.
Maybe my last question to Doctor is that WHO is a World Health Organization. Does every single member of the continent mandatory to be a member of WHO? Probably is Russia a member of WHO?
Russia is a member of the World Health Organization. Russia is a member. All the African countries are a member. The WHO brings together the governments, and it is a constellation of experts. If you want expert opinion on malaria, on Ebola, on HIV, on all those experts drawn from the different countries, including Kenya. And therefore, and they spend, when they wake up in the morning, Mheshimiwa, when you go to parliament, there are people who wake up in the morning and they go to work on these matters. And they are the people who have the expertise. Here in Kenya, we have people who wake up to go to KEMRI. We have the committee that is involved in organizing to make sure that we get safe and effective vaccine. That is what they do from morning to evening. And those are our experts. And therefore, I think what we want to say here is that when we listen to government, who should we listen to? On matters health, we should listen to the Ministry of Health. On this score, I think the Ministry of Health has also failed us, because how come one arm of the Ministry of Health, the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, and by the way, I'm a pharmacist of long years studying, how come in this situation, because we are not in normal times, we are not registering an antibiotic that has been in use for a long time and tested and tried. We are registering a vaccine only for emergency use, and the government of Kenya, the Ministry of Health, and the World Health Organization are responsible to make sure that nothing goes wrong. Because if anything goes wrong and disrupts the vaccination process, people will die. And therefore, we must speak from the same script. This is not the other kind of politics, BBI politics and other things, where we can argue and argue. This is health. This is life and death. And therefore, there should be a line of command. And that line of command should follow Ministry of Health, CDC Africa, World Health Organization. What are we doing? That is the way it should be. And with all due respect, I think we should politic with matters health. And here now I can see an attempt to politicize this matter, which is really grave.
All right.
Maybe for me to rest my case.
Okay.
The biggest concern is now that Russia is a member of World Health Organization.
Yes.
How comes that they can produce such kind of product, a product that is looking for what we call international market all over, without considering that this important agency should be part of their process in approving their product. Okay. I think if that is the area that have some gray, is one area which has some gray areas, and I think Dr. is in position to tell us probably why do you think that Russia did not comply with the regulation set by the WHO, and why would they be freely
be distributing this without the approval
in the world market without restrictions from WHO? And why is the WHO taking an angle of silence, allowing them to keep distributing this particular product all over?
Mheshimiwa, let us assume you have a company called Gakuya and Sons. You are a private individual in Kenya. You have a product that you produce as a private player that you want to trade in. Your interest is whether your government allows you to trade. Now, when we talk about Russia, let's not talk about the Russian government. This vaccine is produced by a private company called Himalaya. And this vaccine, I want to put it again, from the trials they have done in Russia and other places, the vaccine is good. It actually has an efficacy of 92%. It's a good vaccine for practical purposes, provided that it is traded in the right way. That means it is produced, it follows the right process, the right regulation. And to be honest, and I think to be clear, I think the company has already submitted documentation to the WHO, and the WHO, I believe, has been reviewing their documents, and they have questions, just like Pharmacy and Poisons Board. But you need to wait until you are approved. I don't think there is anybody in Kenya who traveled to Russia to look at the good manufacturing practices to confirm. And even then, you want to be sure even the vaccine that you are receiving, which you are calling from Russia, actually came from Russia. In this kind of environment, all manner of things can come up. People can even make fake products and call them what it is. And what we want to make sure is that whatever is available to the public is genuine, and that genuinity has a whole range of processes. And that is why under the current mechanism, nowhere in the world is there a private company that is offering a vaccine on its own other than through government. And I want to believe, and I put it here, that 49% of the healthcare system in Kenya is private, 51% is public, and therefore there is a role for private sector. But for this kind of a pandemic situation, where we are dealing with an international health emergency, the government must take control of any product dealing with any vaccine that is being used. From importation, even if it is coming through a private player, it has to be supervised. We have from importation to distribution, all the way to where it is administered, so that people can be sure. And so when I talk about when we talk about Russia, we are not talking about the government of Russia. The government of Russia may as well have licensed this vaccine, and I think they have.
They have, and there's so much fear. Even the Russians themselves have so much fear in taking this, probably because there's not been that clear approval from the World Health Organization.
Absolutely.
Okay, I've gotten it very well from the doctor, and I hope that, in fact, if there is anybody we can just point finger to, is our verification and registering agency, which is Poison Board.
Yeah.
And only what I can say is that we don't like to find another situation where we are under what we call critical situation of KEMSA situation, and the KEMSA scandals. We hope that actually now the Poison Board is also not preparing other scandals there, making registration of products that have no approval by WHO. It's very clear that actually doctor has stated very clear that the product is okay. It qualifies 92%, and at the same time, it's like the manufacturer has already submitted the documentaries to the WHO, but at least there was no hurry to make the process or the product sale quickly, other than have gone the right procedures. So what I would say is that let us as a nation make sure that we safeguard the lives of Kenyans by making sure that whatever is being imported, coming here as a vaccine or any other medic is well taken care of, and what those changes of verifications are well taken care of, and our agencies cannot put us into more traps than before.
Let's expand some more on this, Dr. Why would the World Health Organization take so long? This is a vaccine that came into being sometimes last year, somewhere around August there, should be around August there. Why would it take so long for it to conduct these processes of approval, much as it was Putin's way, as many would argue, to show that Russia equally stands at that top of the world in regards to coming up with such?
Well, that's a question that would be good to put to the WHO.
But then the question would be, what would be the ramifications that would come along with that in terms of, legality and the aspect of the cruciality of health?
Now, the thing is, for a health authority, including our own Pharmacy and Poisons Board, there is a procedure, there is a process. There is a very strict documentation process. And whoever is the experts that are looking at all this documentation, if they have one query or two which they seek to clarify, and let's say, I'm now speculating, that's because I don't know,
right.
And they send the question back to the company. If the company takes 10 months to respond, so that file stays where it is. Okay. I don't know why it's taking long, because indeed, at the beginning, the development of this vaccine had some false starts, because whereas the right way to develop a vaccine, like the others have gone through, is you do what we call preclinical trials before you start doing clinical trials. And clinical trials have 3 stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and it is only after stage 3 that you are able to show that the vaccine work, and then now you apply for license. The Russians, in their own wisdom, and so did the Chinese, because there are 2 products from China, when they passed phase 2, they decided they were not going to do phase 3. They were going to do phase 3 together with rolling out of vaccination. So instead of waiting to collect the data and verify, they went both ways. I think they may have been using their wisdom to, because we know this vaccine from stage 1, stage 2 is good, we can as well roll it out. But that was again jumping the gun. And those are questions that the regulators have to deal with at WHO level. But be it as it is, COVID disease is a bad disease. The vaccine is one of the most important tools that we have to deal with the pandemic. It's not the only one. We have to get it right first time. And in a scenario where we already have so many doubting Thomases about we have taken so quickly to develop the vaccine, there are a lot of what we can call fake news and a lot of conspiracy theories against the vaccine. It is very important for the WHO as an authority. It is very important for CDC Africa as an organ that we are looking to for now and in the future. It is very important for the Ministry of Health and for the Pharmacy and Poisons Board to exercise the necessary caution and to follow the book. Anybody who is trying to jump that, we must read commercial interest, we must read there may be a rat that is smelling, and I think what Mheshimiwa has said, that we hope that it doesn't turn out to be another matter. For me, from where I sit, because I have registered many vaccines in this country, and you don't register a vaccine today, and tomorrow morning it is in a warehouse in Nairobi. It means that it was sitting there. How did it come there? You need documentation to import. Who approved that import before it was registered? What is their interest? And then when the government, the Ministry of Health, says that we are not ready, and then a senior government officer goes and gets the vaccine to demonstrate it is ready, we ask question, what are the interests? So to that extent, I think this is a story that needs to be followed seriously, because the safety of Kenyans and the fight against COVID can hinge on lapses in this kind of mechanism of making sure. Because I would even ask, did that vaccine clearly originate from the Himalaya? How did it find itself in Kenya in such a short time, a day or two after registration? Are we dealing with a genuine vaccine? Has anybody taken samples to test that it is genuine? There are many things that will need to be checked before we can say it's good to use.
Well, many things are being checked before the EU, that is European Union, adopts the same. The likes of other countries, Austria, looking into this. So while they could be considering it, and the reports that it has been approved, lots of questions are up here as they seek to see whether they can consider this vaccine, and therefore probably vindicates Daktari when he says it is necessary that such measures are hugely taken. So we can leave it at that, though Daktari focuses much on the DP and says, the DP probably should make us understand why he got the confidence to have this. Should we read malice on this one? Is it a bit too early to...
No, obviously the leader, before we put any single finger of doubt with maybe the DP and his family's vaccination, let us first agree that actually he was dealing with the already product in market.
Yes.
And
approved last week, yes.
And therefore, maybe in his own wisdom, he has a choice to make.
Okay.
Because when you have more than one choice, it's upon you to decide whether you go for choice one or choice two.
Okay.
And probably he may not be willing to go for that free one. Yeah, maybe he thought, go for the one which I am just also committing something.
Right.
Probably in his own
some level of truth
in his own wisdom. Because for sure, if this product is already in use, is already registered here, is already in use, no matter how we are going to fight it, is already the system has allowed it to be in sale.
Okay.
Yes. So anybody who will be willing to go that option, he will go, because it is not the government which is challenging this.
Okay.
But I am not against the doctor's position, because that particular technical team is the team also to advise how to go forward. But in fact, even the fears of Daktari are only that actually some kind of process have not been fine-tuned. But in fact, he is cementing very clear that the product's a good product.
All right, well, we can only wait and see. Speaking of KEMSA, there's this story that is here captured, and KEMSA board on the spot over COVID scandal. Listen to this. Senators say the board failed to exercise effective oversight over the CEO, Jonah Manjari, and the management. This on individuals, but equally oversight on the process is very crucial, and probably, again, vindicating Daktari on what he says. Sometimes oversight, sometimes due diligence and crucial observation of such is indeed necessary. The scandal is on, the investigations continues, and we can only wait to see whether we will be able to get something out of all these conversations or these investigations that have been conducted hugely as to getting answers on that. Gentlemen, let's drop this on the papers because that's what we were looking at and get into the aspect of COVID-19 itself and the agony that the Kenyans have today, courtesy of the restrictions that were reviewed again by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Looks like it is hitting the people hard, harder than they all expected. But just what other options would the president have, Mheshimiwa?
Really, let me say, during a situation like this one, it's a situation of emergency, because the president cannot just wake up and make a decision on locking down various number of counties without have done what we call assessments. And it's out of those assessments that have given him and his team of technical advisors the way to go. One is that, in fact, leader me, I have some reservations.
Yeah.
And reservation one is the manner in which the president has been invoking what we call curfews. Because curfews, these curfews are not during the daytime. These curfews are during the nighttime. I don't see any reason why we should keep this curfew going forward. Because I am not sure what we are preventing after 8 in the evening.
Right.
Because most of the population are in-house by that time. And very few number of people are just outside their premises. Mm-hmm. And there, in that particular case, if there is a number, if not at all, we are going to kill totally what we call 24-hour our business. Mm-hmm. Because for sure, we have night shift. Are we saying that totally we are going to lock down our night shift? Before there were conditionalities where only what you are supposed to be is to be in your working place, whether you are a night shift, but you are in your working place by the time the lockdown comes or that curfew comes. In this particular case, I'm finding it somehow different, because around people who actually would like to play business at night. Maybe people like those who are tomato sellers from Nyandarua to Nairobi. How are they going to reach to Nairobi if you put curfew over that particular 8 at the evening? Most of the commodities that actually find themselves to Mombasa, from Wakulima Market to Mombasa all the way. If you are going to put that curfew, does this curfew really give a room for those who normally care for what essential services? Because one, food supply is an essential services. Mm-hmm. And there is no way that we can say we are going to staff other counties because we have what we call pandemic. We must find a ways or smoother way on how those other people who does not have commodities of a certain kind like food can also food reach to them. Mm-hmm. So my advice is that President should consider curfew, because curfew to me it's of no business, it's of no value. Taking into consideration that already areas like Nairobi, Machakos and everywhere, crabs are already crossed. Mm-hmm. If crabs are already crossed by 8, then what's the need of curfew? At 8, because these people are not going anywhere.
Okay,
yes.
Well, let's hear.
Number 2, mm-hmm. If the president is allowing matatos to play route, their normal route, buses, do you want to tell me that actually churches of Nairobi cannot be able to keep social distance in churches? The manner in which he has also beaten the churches is of another different angle. Right. Because I don't see what the reason why you cannot consider churches and you want to tell us that you close them out altogether in the 5 number of counties. I don't see any big reason why. If the matatos are playing routes, if the markets are open, if supermarkets are open, do you want to tell us it's only in church that we cannot be able to keep social services, mm-hmm. Social distance? in that particular case, consider that also churches are an area that we also need to consider.
Yeah.
And we have killed them for a wrong. They may think that actually the president is hating them in one year or another. So there's another area, me personally, I would say the president should consider that. We better put what we call more stringent terms. Maybe if the distance is 1.5 meters, allow them to go 2 meters.
Okay.
Social distance. Yes. But don't kill their business. Number two,
so it's a business you acknowledge.
Yes. Number two, look at the areas of business.
Right.
Because surely I am finding a situation where this lockdown will totally kill people who are business people in the private sector. And people like what we have people who depends with this. Once you close the club in totality, we have what we call barmaids. We have all these canters of people who depends on there. And they are, yes, when the doors are closed, they don't depend with anybody else. Are we considering them on a manner of where they get their daily bread? What are we doing to make sure that their lives are not in tatters?
Yeah. Okay, well, Daktari, first on a medical perspective, I'm sure there are a lot of considerations that are normally put before such, decisions are reached. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has not done this blindly. He acknowledges that he's done this upon the advice of, gurus in these specialities. And so in this case, then we'd love to understand what could have informed this, that probably such an advice was given to President Uhuru Kenyatta, and looking at the practicability that has been questioned of what it is that he speaks about as to what we're supposed to do in terms of measures to curb the spread of the COVID-19, and just how these measures that are set to board will be instrumental in making changes, in indeed helping to curb the spread.
Now, I believe we are all following the global pandemic, because this is a global pandemic, and the virus likes people who are in groups. So as long as people are gathering together in groups and they are not observing the necessary public health measures, the virus will find a way to penetrate. And looking at the way the virus is transmitting at the moment globally, and looking at Kenya in particular, I think Kenyans forget, maybe sometimes we forget, we are headed to the cold July. And between the month of March, April, that is when respiratory viruses in Kenya transmit most. By the time we hit June, even in other years, you will be having a lot of sick people with pneumonia due to influenza and other respiratory viruses. And we have seen the COVID virus take exactly the same form. And remembering when it arrived in Kenya last year in the month of March, by June we had a huge peak, and again we came down in September, and then we had another peak in November. And that is exactly what we see every year. So the scientists in the Ministry of Health are looking at the way the virus is transmitting, and then the changing pattern of the virus, the variants that are emerging, which are much more transmissible. They transmit a little bit more, and the more they transmit, then the more people get sick, then the more people end up in hospital, then the more people will require an ICU bed, then the more people die. So faced with that, and considering it's a balance between lives and livelihoods, at some point the life will matter more than the livelihood. And at this point in the cycle of COVID-19 in Kenya, where we have many hospitals that are full of sick people, especially in Nairobi and environs, where the risk could be that we will have more people sick than the hospitals can handle. You don't wait until the car is in a cliff to apply the brakes. So I think the president considered the season we are headed into, the risk of people not finding a space to be taken care of in hospital, and saying what can we do. In some countries, they have applied what we call complete lockdown.
Yeah.
Here in Kenya, we have never really applied complete lockdown. And complete lockdown means that you don't leave your home, or you walk around only your estate. Some countries that have succeeded in flattening the curve have done that. Here in Kenya,
is that to say we should have done that? Is that to say that we should have done that?
No, we shouldn't, because for some reason, even though we have the virus here, our nations of Africa, including Kenya, we have been spared. The number of people sick and the number of people dying are nowhere compared to what is going on in those countries. So I think in my view, controlling the movement in the affected areas is a reasonable move. Maybe there should have been given a bit of notice for people to organize themselves instead of, today, you close today, and, a hotel may have bought some food and it goes to waste. I think, in my view, there should have been a little bit of time given before you could do. I am in manufacturing myself, and I'm in food industry, health, food, nutrition for health, and we are still manufacturing 24/7. I can confirm that to Mheshimiwa. I think the trucks that bring our raw materials are able to travel even at night, and I hope, if that has not been clarified, it should, because there should be no reason why the cabbages and the potatoes of Nyandarua should not, or even the avocados of Murang'a, where I come from, should not be able to be transported even during the night, because that would be disastrous. So those are issues that needs to be clarified. With regard to curfew, and I think Kenya was among the first country to apply curfew instead of a lockdown, and other countries have taken cue. I think you'll agree with me is that when we leave work, a lot of people, especially men, end up in a club or in a bar, just to it's a social activity. So I think the curfew, what it is doing is limiting those social interactions that take place after work, so that you limit the opportunity that the virus can find a way of penetrating. With regard to churches in the affected zone, I think it's a balance. I am an elder of a church, and I can tell you we have had the unfortunate incidents of burying a number of our people, and of course we exercise caution. In fact, I must say that churches have really followed, most of them, but there are also churches. Sometimes I have left and traveled to some churches, and I find that I am the only one wearing a mask. And I have to explain, gentlemen and ladies, I am from Nairobi. I was in Nairobi this morning, and
so you sound like you're the one who's in an awkward position.
So I think even that, there's a lot more that we can do. And I think Kenyans have not socialized ourselves to the fact that we are actually entering in a very dark period. We are only at the beginning of the third wave, if you may. My experience in many years of respiratory viruses, we tend to have the peak in the third week of June. And then it is quite high in July with the cold weather, because these viruses prefer cold weather, all the way to mid-August before it comes down in September. So for abundance of caution, I think we need to tighten our belts and do that which we must do, and consider, yes, I think businesses are really suffering. The economy is really in a bad shape. And I would hope the government is sitting down to think about how do we cushion Kenyans. Whereas in other nations like the US, they were looking at giving $1.9 trillion to help the people. And yet you can see they are vaccinating. They have reached more than 120 million people vaccination. They are doing whatever, and they are helping their people to cope. I think the government needs to sit down. I don't know where they're going to get money from, but we need to see some way in which the government can give some kind of relief to the population. Otherwise, we need to be alive, but there are people, as long as you are not sick, you think you are okay.
Right.
And therefore you don't see the risk. But once you get sick, then you start blaming the government. So I think there should be some economic, some way of helping the people during this dark period, not just lockdowns, without thinking about how are these people going to survive.
All right.
In that particular one, the very last one, because I have concur with the Daktari in most of the lines. But in the last one is where our national government should come in and make sure that it take what we call necessary measures to assist those affected. As in now, we have closed the hotels, we have closed the clubs, and actually we have staffs that are totally going to suffer, probably for the next 6 good months. Who is under their care? Where are they going to survive at? Because surely you have not took them totally off their job. So in this particular case, I think that the national government, by its wisdom of planning, this is high time because we are addressing what we call extraordinary matter. We must require an extraordinary measure. These measures must include doing reallocations of our budget. Yes, because
the budget process has been altered hugely.
At this point of time, we need to sit down as a government and then we put ourselves in what we call unions, ask ourselves, what can we hold as a project for now? Then that particular budget can be able to be utilized in taking care of the current.
And I mean, Kenyans would want to know what was happening in terms of addressing these issues, because we came from a mini lockdown, or so to speak, and we had parliamentarians back in session. Any deliberations that were being made in terms of, advising the government that in the event that such happens, then this and this is an angle that we can take, because look, these sessions have been distracted right now, so there's probably nothing much that parliamentarians can do in terms of advising the government.
I can tell you, Rita, that in fact nothing much has been done. And most of these requests has to come from the national government, because actually some of these should come from the executive. And the duty of the National Assembly is to make sure that it streamlines what the executive or the national government want to be streamlined. And at this particular time, we have a committee which is charged with issues to do with public health, and this is the health committee. And this health committee has not tabled any single report towards anything to do with issues to do with the pandemic, with this COVID pandemic. And it's my take that in fact this is a high time. We would like to see, maybe if not now the health committee, the budget committee, because it takes care of the national budget, must now be thinking on what to do to make sure that they put a kitty purposely to take care of this particular phenomenon.
Okay. Do you suppose then the parliamentarians equally have failed us? I mean, when they came back, the main focus was reactionary, so to speak, on how do we get the people who messed up in terms of, the first scandal, the COVID-19 billionaires, and maybe not much was put towards dealing with the situation as it stands. Probably we all thought that maybe we are off the hoods and the woods, and we probably did not need much of focus on this particular one. And here we are again, and even the parliamentarians are not allowed to be in session. BBI itself, in a huge way, has been distracted.
Well, I think when you look at it, we would actually say there is failure in leadership here, and I think there is we are sleeping on the job. For some reason, even majority, the leadership has not looked at the long term. We have history. The 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, it came in 3 waves, and the second wave was more devastating. And considering that this is a viral disease, and we have mutations that are taking place every day, until we have put our act together, we are nowhere near the end. Actually, we only have received 1 million doses of vaccine in this country. That is a drop in the ocean. Some nations are already reaching 50% vaccination of their adult population. So I think our national leaders, including parliamentarians, even the health committee itself, because it is supposed to be seized of this matter, and it is supposed to be helping the parliament to be able to look at the bigger picture. I think I would say there is failure in leadership because by the time the president is announcing, the lockdown, and I hope if they haven't considered, even though we are in a kind of lockdown, Parliament can still meet, the committees can meet. Right now, I am here talking to you and talking to Kenyans. There is really no reason why they cannot engage and together, because they are the ones who control the money. But I agree with Mheshimiwa, many of the things depend on the executive. Somebody in the executive must be thinking, we would want Parliament to look at this. But also, I think Mheshimiwa has been in Parliament long enough to know that even a private member can come up with his own motion, so to speak. So I think our leaders should engage, and they should be seized. Let's not just be thinking about the 2022 mechanism which is coming around and the BBI which has occupied our national psyche. Let us think about Kenyans. Let us think about the lives and livelihoods of Kenyans. Really, we cannot throw the people who now in the hotel industry who have no job. We cannot just assume that they will find it okay. I think leadership here, both the executive and the legislature, and indeed, I think they need to look at themselves and be seized of the difficulties that the Kenyans are going through. Otherwise, we may not even succeed in fighting the COVID, because nobody is going to sit at home and die for lack of food.
Right.
I can even already see that there are some people who are arguing with policemen on the border, because if someone had a project, say in Murang'a, and they live in Nairobi, and they need to go and look at that project, they will argue and say, look, I don't want to die at home.
That's true. Yeah. Well, and speaking of the members of parliament, unfortunate news reaching our desk this morning. Member of Parliament of Kiambaa, Paul Koinange, has passed on, and from the reports that we get and confirmed by family members is that the legislator succumbed to COVID-19 complications, and that is in Nairobi Hospital today morning. Pretty much unfortunate occurrence, and we send our condolences to the family members and the friends of Paul Koinange and also his constituents. And he has served the people of Kiambaa since 2017, August, upon being elected and the Jubilee ticket. He also has been serving at the level of the houses and the Committee on Administration and National Security. May his soul rest in eternal peace. We are talking matters COVID-19. The situation is extremely bad. Yes.
It's worsening. Reader, let me also take this opportunity to pass my sincere condolences to the family of now the late member for Kiambaa, and friends, also the constituents of the Kiambaa constituencies. And to me, I have lost a very good friend of mine. It's the second time in Parliament. We know each other there before we got into politics, and there after we met in Parliament. But we have been friends there before, and we have been friends even when we are in the corridors of the House. We have lost a very, 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 very humble person who has prosecuted his matters very well, and as a chair for the security chairman docket, actually he has handled it very well, and he has been so well dealing with his entire colleagues. So let me say this is a very serious phenomenon, and in fact I would say that in fact we must step to a point where we must declare this particular epidemic a national disaster. As there is no joke that if we are not going to take the necessary measures, this is a disaster that will ruin us as many and many others. this is just an only known. Then it tells you that actually they are unknown, which are unable to feature to the screens. And reader, let me say, on a serious note, let me tell Kenyans that it is not a joke. This monster is within our midst, and let me tell you, it's our only COVID protocol measures that will save us. Let us make sure that we keep in our conditionalities. Let us make sure that, in fact, we other the conditionalities. Let those ignorance keep off, because when you are ignoring and you are trying to walk aloud without any single marks, you are risking your life and you are risking the life of your brother and sisters. If we really want to save our lives, we have no shortcut. We must add to the conditionalities.
All right, and in morning, the legislator, President Uhuru Kenyatta, says the cruel hand of death has robbed us of a state-first leader, a leader and a gentleman whose undivided focus was the peace, stability, and progress of our country. Through the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security, where he was the chairperson, Honorable Koinange advanced legislation and policy interventions that sought to create a peaceful, stable, and tranquil nation. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Dr. Moses.
Let me join the Kenyans in mourning and passing my condolence message to the family of Honorable Paul Koinange and the good people of Kiambaa who have lost very able member of parliament, and indeed there are quite a number of members of parliament who do a very serious job, and this is one of them. And pray that his soul would rest in peace. I think this, as we have this debate, we were just talking about the balance between lives and livelihoods, and I have just said that this is a time to weigh in the side of lives. And when I say that our national leadership and all of us Kenyans actually have not really taken this pandemic seriously, and especially the season we are in. And when we were talking about the president taking the decision that he's taking, I think I don't envy him. Right. The position he's holding as our president, and I believe it's not that he doesn't know that people's livelihoods will suffer, but there comes a time when lives are more important. Okay. And I would urge Kenyans, let us take this pandemic seriously, and let us remember the phase we are in, the season we are in, because the death of Honorable Paul Koinange, I think, is just a reminder. It is, today when the Minister for Health will read the statistics, he will read so many positives, so many dead. In there will be Honorable Paul Koinange, but we many times we just see numbers. We don't see people. We don't see people in those numbers. It's only when it hits home that it hits us. So may the soul of Honorable Paul Koinange rest in eternal peace.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Dr. Moses Mwangi, governance expert, and James Gakuya, Member of Parliament, Embakasi North. It was good having you. I think on that sad note, then we get to close this particular segment. But then again, a reminder that we still have another segment coming up your way, that is on Matters Tasty Wednesday. Yes, we get to enjoy the moment as we teach you on some of new recipes. Most importantly, just a reminder of what has happened. Kiambaa Member of Parliament Paul Koinange has passed on. The family has confirmed this, that he has died, at a city hospital where he was battling COVID-19 and therefore has passed on due to COVID-19 complications functions. He was the chair of the National Administration and Security Committee in the National Assembly, and we shall give you more details as to that as and when they hit our desk this morning. Again, to that, what it is that we have been talking about, then we are looking forward to an incredible Easter weekend, and so we'll be having a Good Friday special for you, and it's important that you stay woke, and you not really stay woke, that you stay tuned. On Friday, we'll be at the Ngong Hills Hotel all the way from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and I mean a session that you do not want to miss out on. We'll have lots of music to usher you in to an incredible weekend of Martyrs Easter on Good Friday, and so make sure that you keep it right here. We'll be having a Piston and the band. We'll be having also this sponsored by the Zawadi, the band. We'll also be having goodies from Valentine's Cake House, so make sure that you keep it right here. Importantly, the session that has been sponsored by Mizizi Africa Homes Limited. You also need to know what goodies they'll be having in store for you, whether they have any offers for the Easter holidays. A real estate company that offers high quality and affordable homes and investment solutions. So watch out for that, because it's going to be an incredible session this Friday as we get into that Good Friday mood, and looking forward to an incredible weekend ahead. So make sure that you keep it right here. But importantly, again, we'll take you to the Ngong Hills Hotel where we have prepared something good for you. You also get to pick these tips. Asante sana for keeping me company. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. Thank you so much, Daktari. Let's get to this other segment.
Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on the Throwdown, and I'll be showing you how to make this no-bake dessert. Quite easy no-bake desserts. The Scottish Cranachan and the apple crumble.
Umesimamia mfanyikazi hapo, hakuna maji imewekwa.
Yes.
ECF is East Coast Fever. ECF actually is carelessness. It's pricey, but it's sure bet.
It's sure bet.
Yeah.
Join us this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. as we head to Machakos to learn all about small-scale dairy farming.
On the next episode of Garden of Eden.
There are 1,000 red flags, and the thing is, you have an instinct, you have a gut, you know when something's off.
Should we get to a point where he says we are now dating officially, or how does our picture look like?
Nobody does that in this generation. You don't even ask a girl out anymore. You just sort of you know, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you know, because there's give and there's take.
Every Wednesday at 10 p.m. On the next episode of The Realtor.
We will talk about bungalows and lighting, how important it is to have the right light for your house.
I need to make my space look good. We see all these inspirations in the net, and we want to do that.
that excitement of jumping to take something because you like it is what makes people go wrong. After that, you can resell your house or you can enjoy your house and your life is happy.
The Realtor, every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. On the next episode of The Grind.
My name is Robert Kanyoro. I'm a software developer. There is no generally a difference between a software developer and a software engineer. The skill that I came out with from the university is the one that is actually helping me even today. So you need the skill, not the papers.
The Grind, every Monday at 7:30 p.m. The Home of Untold Stories.
Voila, it is Tasty Wednesday, and I told you it will be different this time around. The only thing that Musema is the hardest of all is to imagine that after we have prepared whatever it is that we've prepared, I'll be the only one to enjoy this. But then the beauty again is that, well, when we're doing it from a hotel, it makes it easy for you to equally go and taste and just get to understand what is this one thing that Linda prepared for Tasty Wednesday that we can actually get to enjoy. And guess which hotel we are at this morning? The Ngong Hills Hotel, right here at the heart of Nairobi. Well, an incredible hotel that you'd probably want to visit. I mean, you will be convinced to visit once you see what it is that Chef Terry will be preparing for us this morning. It is that week of Good Friday, Easter Monday, and all that. There's nothing as good as going out there and enjoying it with family. And so this special Wednesday, we make it special. So at least we say we're preparing something special for Easter. And just a reminder, this Easter we're going to make it even special. So on Friday, that is Good Friday, we'll be at the Ngong Hills Hotel again, so that at least we have this edition from 6 a.m. up to 9 a.m. You expect goodies, you expect the great of moments, so make sure that you make it a date. But today we are here, we're preparing something simple that you can have for breakfast, for lunch, and all that. Let me not make a lot of stories. Chef Terry is here. She'll be telling us what it is, and she'll be telling us, you know, the best of Ngong Hills Hotel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Chef Terry. I am a chef at Ngong Hills Hotel, and today I am here to show you how to make different kinds of items, food items, which you can get in Ngong Hills Hotel at a very good price and in the best qualities. Okay, so your burgers are to die for. Yeah.
During Burger Week, I had them, and I said, you know, constantly when I get to Ngong Hills, I'm like, yeah, burger. So we'll be making burger today.
Yes.
Good.
But today we are going to start with a starter, which is a salad.
All right.
We're going to make our chicken salad. Yes.
Okay.
So we are going to start with putting on our pan, which was already on.
Yes.
It is hot.
Yes.
You add a bit of oil.
Olive oil, yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Okay.
To brown your breast. This is chicken breast.
Okay.
Cut into strips. Yes. You marinate it and season it.
All right.
So you're going to season with salt, a little bit of salt.
Okay.
Garlic and ginger paste.
For how, you do it immediately, or you marinate prior and then you allow it to rest?
It's your choice. You can do it prior, or you can start. You can do it immediately.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So this is a combination of ginger and
garlic. Paste. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So as your pan is hot, so just add in the chicken strips. And make sure your pan is hot so that the season.
All right. You know what? Rule number one, you're supposed to have your apron when you're in the kitchen. I thought I am not supposed to have an apron, but I'm being told it's a must. So they got me one, right?
Yes.
Sometimes because I'm not the chef, I don't need it. Thank you. I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much. So here we are.
Proper dressing in the kitchen.
It is important.
Yes.
And we do this at home really. But yeah, we try at least. I hope nimeiweka vizuri. Okay, so
as that browns, we continue with the body. I call it the body of the salad.
All right.
to wipe my hands clean because I've touched chicken.
All right.
Yes.
But I mean, is it not going to be used for the same purpose?
No, raw chicken can be dangerous. Yes.
Yeah, that one I understand. So when it's raw, you make sure it's clean before you get the rest.
Yes.
Because the others we're going to have them raw or what? Okay.
Okay. So we start with our lettuce here.
Okay.
Just a bit of lettuce. You shred it.
Okay.
You should not cut them into thin slices so that they don't change color. Okay. So
You will have to cook them or something?
no, you don't cook them.
So there's a way they can change color when they are shredded.
When you just shred, yes.
Oh, okay.
Just rough chops, a bit rough. A bit more.
So this one you're supposed to stir or you just leave it?
It browns so that you turn it. Brown first and then you turn it.
All right.
So put our lettuce in this mixing bowl. Then next we go to the cucumber.
But why have you removed the seeds?
We remove with the seed. Not everyone likes the seeds.
Okay.
Yes, but the seeds are very good for detox.
They're very important.
Yes, for detox and other stuff. But for salads, not everyone fancies the.
So you're safe without them.
Yes.
Okay. I get it. And you still maintain the same taste that you'd want to achieve.
Yes.
Okay. It's nice.
You keep on checking your chicken also.
So that it doesn't.
Yes.
Okay. So this has to be.
The pan has to be hot, yes?
Extremely hot.
Not
and what about
hot, So hot that when you put your chicken in, it sizzles.
Okay.
Hear the sizzling sound.
All right.
Yes. Just cut our cucumbers.
Well, this is special. They say you can have them for breakfast, you can have them for lunch.
Even dinner.
Even dinner, yeah?
Yeah.
In fact, dinner is best. I'm being told that it's breakfast that you're supposed to eat a lot.
Heavy.
Heavy, yeah?
And very little, light breakfast, dinner, yes.
Okay.
Put all this inside our salad here.
Yeah. I'll be helping you, don't worry. At least I'm also learning the arts. We say that in as much as you're able to enjoy this, in hotels and all that, it's good to also have the art.
Yeah.
So you can do it at home,
Yes.
Yeah.
This is very simple.
It's very simple.
Do it at home. There's nothing extraordinary.
In fact, I've looked at everything here.
Yes.
And it's everything that is readily available.
Yes.
You can get this in the market anytime, any day. So that means you have no reason not to have a nice meal,
Yeah.
And now that looks good.
As it is browning a bit, give it a bit more time.
Okay.
Chicken cooks very fast. These ones are shredded, so they cook faster than the whole chicken breast.
Alright.
So, just a little bit more, then we switch off and cool it a bit.
Okay, so by then they will be ready, 100%.
Yes.
They have very nice color, yeah?
So we cut our juliens.
Oh, it's julienne, I remember that.
Yes, julienne
now
are
the
just
shapes and
yes, they're just strips.
Okay.
Matchstick size.
Okay.
This is julienne.
Okay. So some of these stamps, man.
But at home you can cut it in any
shape, whichever way you like
Which way you fancy, just do it.
Okay.
We switch off
so off we go.
Yes. Place it on the side so that it cools down a bit.
So salads, in most cases, are supposed to be eaten cold, yeah?
Yes, but you can have them also as warm salads.
All right.
Yes. Just place it on the side so that it cools. Okay, and we continue with the salad, the body. Yes.
So this is the body of the salad.
Yeah.
That one is just what now?
It is part of it, but
the main thing
is the vegetables.
Okay, the veggies.
Yes.
And by the way, they say vegetables are very nice.
Yes.
You know, when you especially the colored vegetables, you get the green, you get the orange, you get, the purple. You combine them and you eat them, they're the healthiest. And sometimes you say, hey, I have to have some meat.
Yes.
So that's where you drop in.
Now people are minimizing the
consumption of meat.
Yes. They are going back to the natural foodstuffs.
Yeah.
Vegetables, fruits. And drinking a lot of water is also good for you.
Well, it makes it tasty, so you don't always have to complain that, oh, I can't do veggies alone.
Yes.
I mean, I guess I'm almost guessing, because I've not had this before, that eventually we'll have the veggies, yes, in plenty, but also some taste of the meaty taste.
Yes.
Is going to come
Meat
in handy.
it is also important.
It's very important.
Every food item is important for the body. So
Nutrition now.
Yes, but in very small
Limited
proportions.
yes. Okay.
Put our carrots. And lastly,
the onions.
Yes.
All right. Yes, remember guys, we say that this is the Easter edition, but we're going to have a major one that is on Friday, Good Friday. We'll still be at the Ngong Hills Hotel. We're doing the show there live from 6 a.m. all the way to 9 a.m. Lots of goodies and so much, to enjoy. The food's down there. Why don't you take advantage and come check them out? I am telling you this, that sometimes we just give you tips. It is incumbent upon you to go say, you know what, at the Ngong Hills, go and treat your loved one, go and treat your friends. Someone visits you, why don't you just step in there and have your lunch hour burger? You will love it. That's what we're making this morning. Salad, they call it. And I mean, also some simple fries. And we'll also be having that burger. Burger to die for me. I keep saying that there is no burger that is better than that one at the Ngong Hills in Nairobi. And I am saying this tried and tested. I'm a lover of burgers. And so I march into every hotel trying to get burger. Boom. After landing here, it is my one-stop shop for burger.
Yes, so this is the main body of the salad. Your lettuce, your tomatoes, and everything else.
Yes.
So we're going to dress it a bit, season it and everything, so that it gives you the best taste.
Salt?
Yes, so a little bit of salt.
Okay.
Mix it in properly. Then we have a vinegar here.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of vinegar.
Now this is white, yeah?
Yes,
not
white vinegar.
Yes.
Yes. And then the olive oil. A bit of olive oil.
Okay.
Yes.
How the seasoning enhances the taste?
Yes,
and
very much.
Color helps maintain color? Okay.
Yes. Maintains the color. It improves the taste.
All right.
Because also eating vegetables without seasoning.
Without something.
Yes.
Vegetables are the hardest to take. I keep saying I'm not a lover of them, especially when you have to eat them raw,
Yes. So we're going to take
now
our
you put your chicken.
Yes.
Okay.
Put in our chicken.
This is nice.
Just mix it in properly.
Beautiful. All right. So this is the salad. We haven't seen the main food yet. I am almost like, it's
just
over and done. That is the starter. Okay.
Yes. So we put in our base. This is our base.
Oh, okay. For the same. Now this is for us to serve or what?
Yes, for service. But before that, as I just prepare it, you can add in the mayonnaise. But this is optional.
Right.
You can add in mayonnaise if you like to, or you can omit. It can be eaten this way.
Yes, it's still ready for consumption. I am a lover of mayonnaise, so I'll definitely add mayonnaise on mine.
So let's add mayonnaise on this one.
All right.
I'll just divide a bit.
Alternatively, you can have your mayonnaise on the side, so whoever wishes to have it added, then they can proceed to do that.
Okay. For those who do not take mayonnaise,
you can put that aside for them, right?
Yes. A bit of mayonnaise here.
And boom, there you go. This is like a whole meal for crying out loud. What is missing here? Carbohydrates only?
Yes.
And we're about to prepare something that has the carbs, so don't worry.
So we might make it nice.
This is the way to go, my people. Nobody will lie to you that you're taking raw foods is not a good thing. And like Kitambo, we used to cook your vegetables until
there's no nutrients.
I know. Yes. That's the point. So nowadays it's a whole different thing.
Yes. So now we are plating our salad.
All right. So we are at that level of plating, by the way.
Yes.
It is that fast.
Yeah, it takes very little time to make.
Yeah.
It is easy. If you're at home and you feel like I don't have a lot of energy to cook, you can just whip up this and good to go.
That did not even take more than 5 minutes, honestly.
Yes.
I hope the burger is as fast to fix as this, yeah?
Not so much, but it's all good.
All right. Yes, sweetly. The nice plating of the salad.
Then we garnish it a bit.
Well, the presentation is very important, they say, yeah?
Yes.
All right.
The beauty. Guests eat with the eyes first.
I know, right?
Yes.
If it looks good, it is certainly good to eat. So sometimes you just want to look at it and say, yummy, so quick. And sometimes some of these things you see in the magazine, you see them on TV, and you're like, man, this is so real.
This is what you can do it at home.
You can do it at home. I agree.
You're welcome here to go into
now. That's the point.
Yes.
If you can't do it at home, don't worry.
We are here for you.
That's true. But it's funny, sometimes I say, you can look at this and say, let me go try it at home. It does not give you the exact taste. Sometimes you just don't understand, my chef, what have they done that I have not done? Yeah?
Yes. So
this is good.
This is our
salad.
Chicken salad.
All right, chicken salad ready. We get to the burgers. We have, all right. Pretty fast, You can imagine we took some extra time because we're trying to show you. What if you decide that now it's you fixing it for yourself? In 2 minutes you're done. March into the Ngong Hills Hotel and enjoy some of this. So what else are we making next?
So now
we are done with that.
Yes. We clean up. You can also taste. Do the taste.
You want me to taste right now or taste after we prepare everything else?
Yes.
After, right?
No problem.
Okay.
Anytime.
All right.
When you feel comfortable, you can.
Okay. Well, you do not want to tell me that because I'll start feasting on them now. What else are we preparing?
So today we're going to make the burger.
You want us to get you something?
Yes.
I can see you have everything all set. All right. I'll be crossing over to get this as the chef prepares it. This is burger.
So we heat our pan.
All right.
Burgers. There are very many kinds of burgers.
Is it right? All right.
So today we're going to make our Ngong Hills special.
Okay, so you're saying, what's the name of the burger again?
It's just beef burger.
Okay.
But it's the Ngong Hills special beef burger.
Oh.
Yes.
Is there anything that we need? This is now.
Your burger even.
Here we are. I hope I have done justice in bringing what it is that is needed.
Yes, now I need to
special burger, they say. It is interesting how when you tell them, make nini and all that, they tell you, no. You should always march into the Ngong Hills Hotel to enjoy this yani burger with eggs and all that. So, hey, take us through step number 1.
So let me switch it off first because I still have a lot to show you. Burgers are not too complicated as we think.
Okay.
Just mincemeat mixed with
I see a lot of things.
A lot of things, yes. But it is very simple.
Okay.
Mincemeat with we put in your
onions,
chopped onions, a little bit of breadcrumbs, cornstarch, yes.
All right.
Just season and all that. It will be ready. So now put on our clean gloves.
Again?
Yes.
I looked at you removing the other gloves. I'm like, why?
No, we have to, like chicken and beef, we don't want cross-contamination and all that.
Interestingly,
yes.
Very many people do know. Like you find someone who does not take chicken.
Yeah.
And you literally use the same, serving spoon to serve this.
There are some. There's some guests with allergies, very serious ones. Yes.
Right.
So we don't want that. We want to At home, at Ngong Hills, we just like to take care of our guests in the proper way that should be done. So today we're going to make this. This is beef. Yeah, minced, and then you add in we season it first with salt and a little bit of garlic and ginger paste.
So approximately how long would this take? I march into Ngong Hills and I say, this is what I want to eat. How long will I have to wait?
You know, in Ngong Hills, like you have pre-prepared.
Okay.
So like in 20 minutes you'll have your burger at the table.
Nice. And you, man, I keep insisting that it's my favorite when I march into Ngong Hills. You know, I'll overlook any other meal around. First I'll go for my burger. And Kamoja, and you're like full 100%. So I am just encouraging you to come and try them out and then thank me later.
Yes.
Thank me later.
So we add in the salt.
The seasoning, that is.
Yes, for seasoning, a little bit of garlic and ginger paste.
Yes.
Just very little.
Yeah.
Mix it in.
All right.
Okay, now we add in our
onions,
chopped onions.
Oh yes, we have
onions.
to be very particular.
Yes,
not just onions, chopped onions.
Yes, because onions they add in flavor to this beef. Yes.
And you sometimes you'd say, oh, we've already put garlic and all that.
Yes.
I mean, onions are onions. Garlic is onion, but it's not that onion that you
garlic is very strong.
It's very strong.
So not many people like garlic. Yes. So this chopped onions, just mix it in nicely.
Okay.
We add in our
eggs or what? I had eggs and I'm like, at what point will we use the eggs?
We add in eggs.
Okay.
The cornstarch and the breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs and the cornstarch
will hold them together.
Yes, they hold the beef together so that they don't break apart when you place it in your hot pan.
All right.
Yes. So we're gonna add our cornstarch. Just a bit. Yes, and here at Ngong Hills, we also have our make it yourself burgers. Yes.
Make it yourself burger. How?
Yes, you can call a chef. The chef is here.
Okay.
You choose the ingredients you want and the toppings and the fillings.
All right.
Yes.
And always they will be readily available.
Yes.
So if you say I'm a vegan, I come here and I'm like, I don't want beef, I don't want.
Yes. You get your vegan burger, like the vegetable burger.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, so you cook together, or you just tell them that these are the toppings that I want, and that's it?
They are there at the table. You just choose.
So like the way we're here.
Yes.
And then we'll be doing it together.
Yes. Okay. If you want onions, or don't want onions, or cucumbers, or tomatoes.
That's amazing. That's not anything you get anywhere, you know. And so if you can take advantage of that, that's a beauty of you.
So
in this case, your health is taken care of. So these are egg.
Yes, you add in our egg.
Okay.
Yes. Not so much so that it does not become very runny.
Okay.
Yes.
So you do not put the yolk.
You can't put the yolk.
Yeah.
I've omitted it.
It's just that it's a bit too much.
It is too much. Yes.
Okay. All right. That's interesting.
Add in more of this.
That is cornstarch.
Cornstarch. And the breadcrumbs.
And you still now have the pan hot?
Yes.
Hot? As hot as, okay.
Hot.
All right.
You can switch it off a bit.
Okay. Off completely?
Yes, it is still hot, so it will work.
It will still work?
Yes. Until it is firm. Yes. And also you can have chicken burgers as well.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily
you have to
beef.
Do beef. Yes.
If you are a lover of chicken, you can do chicken breast, chicken burgers also.
Okay. Remember, these are simple steps and tips courtesy of Morning Cafe that just allow you a chance to get basic lessons on what you can prepare for yourself, for your loved ones, your husband, your babies. Just treat them to a nice meal, treat them to a nice, a snack. It's pretty simple, it's pretty easy. Some of this, actually everything that we're using here is readily available.
Yeah.
And so you need not to struggle so much. Yes, doing this thing with Chef Cherry, courtesy of Ngong Hills. Thank you so much for hosting us, as we also get to learn some more and we get all these tips.
Yes. So I'm going to portion it so that it is not too thick.
Okay.
And then you shape it according to with the size you like. Yes.
Yeah, the round kinda, you know.
The shape and the size also. You can do the mini burgers, the smaller ones for kids mostly, and also the larger ones. If you.
So the minced meat will automatically cook so well.
Yes.
We need not to worry about it.
No.
Okay.
No. Yes.
So this one is to be deep fried or fried, shallow fried?
Just pan fried.
Pan fried.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is what we have.
We can start pan frying, or we have to wait?
No. You can start immediately.
Let me
clean.
Is that
Clean
okay?
gloves.
That is
Yes.
fine. Oh, clean gloves again.
Yes.
This sasa inakuwa hasara hapo, man. That is how serious it is. It is next to godliness, and you're safe that way.
Yes, and with the era of COVID, we have to
Makes it
maintain.
even more important.
And here at Ngong Hills, we really check on the regulations. Yes.
Good. I've been here a couple of times, you know. After this COVID came, trust you me, you feel at home, you feel comfortable, you're certain that you are safe. So yes, she's not just trying to look good on TV. It is the truth. It's what technically happens.
So this is our burger here.
Yeah. And
our pan is hot.
Yes.
The oil is hot. Gently placing your burger. Yes. And you like to hear that sizzling sound. That is like it is ascertaining that the pan is hot, and it will cook evenly. So as it continues, we give it time to continue.
Maybe we should take a short break.
Yes.
As we give it time to continue. Yes, we take a quick break, and we're coming back. Remember, at the Ngong Hills Hotel, we're preparing you something nice. I keep forgetting the name of the salad, but here's
chicken salad.
Chicken salad, and we're also doing burger and it's a bit of fries, and you will love it after this break.
Join me this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on the Throwdown, and I'll be showing you how to make this no-bake dessert. Quite easy no-bake desserts. The Scottish Cranachan and the apple crumble.
Umesimamia mfanyikazi hapo, hakuna maji imewekwa.
Yes.
ECF ni East Coast Fever. ECF actually is carelessness. It's pricey, but it's sure bet.
It's sure bet.
Yeah.
Join us this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. as we head to Machakos to learn all about small-scale dairy farming.
On the next episode of Garden of Eden.
There are 1,000 red flags, and the thing is, you have an instinct, you have a gut, you know when something's off.
Should we get to a point where he says we are now dating officially, or how does our picture look like?
Nobody does that in this generation. You don't even ask a girl out anymore. You just sort of like, you know, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you know, because there's give and there's take.
Every Wednesday at 10 p.m. On the next episode of The Realtor.
We will talk about bungalows and lighting, how important it is to have the right light for your house.
I need to make my space look good. We see all these inspirations in the net, and we want to do that.
That excitement of jumping to take something because you like it is what makes people go wrong. After that, you can resell your house, or you can enjoy your house, and your life is happy.
The Realtor. Every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. On the next episode of The Grind.
My name is Robert Kanyoro. I'm a software developer. there is no generally a difference between a software developer and a software engineer. The skill that I came out with from the university is the one that is actually helping me even today. So you need the skill, not the papers.
The Grind, every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
It is.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
I am excited and I'm loving this moment. It is a Tasty Wednesday. Would want to call it, the Easter Wednesday edition, so to speak, or Tasty Wednesday Easter edition. I mean, but then again, just a polite reminder, while we might call it the Easter edition, we have the biggest one, the major one that will be done. That is on Friday, and that is the Good Friday edition. We'll be doing it at the Gong Hills Hotel. They have been good enough and gracious enough to host us, and for the very same reason, we're sending this love back to you. We are enjoying their burgers, not enjoying just yet, because yes, we're in the process of trying to make this or cook them, and Chef Cherry is taking us through this. We've already prepared the salad, and now we're at that point where we are making the burgers. And so it was this mix that we've made, and so she's just doing her thing. I think I'll throw it back to her so she can tell us what step we are at.
Yes,
Cherry.
so now we are, the burgers are almost done.
Okay.
So we add in our cheese so that it will melt slowly as the burger is cooking.
Okay.
Yes, as we continue, we'll add in our eggs, because that is one of the fillings.
Oh.
Yes, the egg, we put in, our toppings are fried eggs, bacon, cheese, and lettuce, tomato, and cucumber.
All right,
yes.
so you got that. Now I understand. At least I'm getting to learn this, because I asked the other chef, how do you prepare this?
Yeah.
He's like, that is my secret. That is the Gong Hill secret. I said,
Yes.
okay, not to worry, because it's a secret that is worth coming to enjoy.
But you can change the fillings into whatever you like. Yes. It is not mandatory that you do
whatever it is that we're doing today. And I mean, that's the essence of having a burger. Like any toppings, any fillings that you want, your choice. And that's why they say it's special here at Gong Hills, because they allow you to come and together with the chef, you decide on the fillings that you want, right?
Yes. So we slice our bun, yes. The lower side a bit thin. Yes.
Okay.
We brown it. As it is browning, we prepare our fillings and toppings. Tomatoes, cucumbers.
Here. And on this side, I can see some oil cooking.
Yes, that is for our accompaniments. At Gong Hills, our fries come with our burgers come with fries. Yes.
Oh, nice. All right, so we're setting this ready to fry the fries, or to fry the potatoes, so to speak, so that they end up being fries.
Yes.
It's a bit of a tongue twister when you get to the kitchen. Like, the bottom line is what we always say, it is enjoying the meal.
Yes.
And you get to Gong Hills Hotel, you do not get anything less than that.
Yes, so here now we have the bun browning a bit. And the bun, the pâtés, this we call pâtés.
All right.
Also cooking. And on the side, we're going to add our bacon.
Also part of the filling?
Yes. Here we enjoy a lot of different kinds of flavors together as you bite in your burgers and everything.
You can tell some bit of, you can feel some bit of vegetables, then some bit of meat. Before you know it, there's bacon,
eggs, everything.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
That is nice. Remember, these are pretty simple steps that we keep talking about.
Yes.
Tasty Wednesday, and this is the Easter edition, and we are at the Gong Hills Hotel. So this is what we are preparing: burgers alongside, the fries aside, and the salad that we prepared earlier on. We say that these are simple things that you can get from wherever it is that you would want to buy them in the market, and we say, you know what? you don't have to, have boring breakfast every other day. You don't have to have boring meals every other day. I mean, why don't you go out of your way to prepare some of these things that are pretty simple? Mix them, gather them, love them.
Or rather, you come from Ngong Hills. You're just located along Ngong Road. Very easily accessible.
I know.
Yes.
Whether you're coming the matatu, whether you're coming
with your vehicle or
your own vehicle,
Futsubishi, everything.
Well, right?
Yes, it's easily accessible.
Okay. So this one is supposed to
heat up with oil.
I'll have to drop them the chopped. Okay.
Carefully, because this is hot oil.
Yes.
You have to be very careful with the in the kitchen. You don't want accidents and everything.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
So as this one is going on, we start with our dressing. And now you dress your
dress
bun.
First, yeah?
Yes, for the moisture now. The mayonnaise, or you can do something else also.
All right.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Mayonnaise.
This is according to taste.
Yes. So here mayonnaise. Dress it nicely.
Okay. This in a way also helps hold it together, right?
Yes. Okay. From there, our base, which is the lettuce. Tomatoes.
All right.
Cucumbers.
This is quite huge, by the way. When we talk about value for money, just you be much here, you get value for money.
Yes. So
all these nutrients, and actually, I look at it, I'm like, you know what? All the nutrients have been incorporated. You have your proteins, you have your veggies, that is vitamins. You have your phages, and you equally have your carbohydrates that is on the bun itself.
Yes.
And
so from here now, we're going to make our fried egg, which is also part of the filling.
Okay. So you create space somewhere.
You can use a different pan.
You can use a different one, but
due to the
at least this one is different. Yeah, we're trying to save on time and all that.
Yes.
Some of these things actually, I mean, they're going to be eaten together. So, hakuna hapo contamination, sivyo?
Contamination.
Hakuna, but this one is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So on the side here, we're going to add in the egg. Oh, just very one.
Okay. If this is cooked, we can be putting the fries, I think.
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to be the chef. That is the essence of it. Save time in the morning. Wake up, fix something very fast. Enjoy your breakfast. Just like you talk, you feel like,
Yeah.
Good. Food is life, man. Food is life. So when you have good food.
And also, we can have a lot of guests. So if you're doing one at a time, we'll waste a lot more time.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is our egg.
Okay.
Fried egg. Let it cook.
So this is almost like 4 toppings or 4 fillings, yeah? We call it the fillings because they go.
And you can add in much more if you want to.
Yeah, that's true.
There are some people who are not concerned with calories and all that. So it will work for them.
Okay.
For people like us who don't want a lot more weight, yes.
You can go low, you can limit.
Yes. You minimize the toppings.
All right.
Or you do more like natural stuff, vegetables, more vegetables. Yes, and the burgers, also you can have them well done, you can have them medium, yes.
It's up to you.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I am curious, this is the very first time I am invited into a kitchen and I'm just allowed to stand. Most of the times I'm going bring that. So today, I got the chef herself. And so she's like, hey, independent woman, I'm going to do all this alone. And so I can only wait to enjoy.
No, it's just for today. It's just for today. Next time, you work with me.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, it will be my pleasure because I'm learning so much.
Yeah. So our fried egg, as it cooks, and the bacon. We check on our fries now.
All right, here we are.
I'm sure the
oil is well
heated.
I was almost saying cooked, and I'm like, do we cook oil? Let me just keep silent.
Now these are fries blanched. Blanching is just a process where you cook your anything, vegetables or the the potatoes.
Not to the maximum.
Not to the maximum.
Yeah.
They are soft, but not like crispy.
They can't get messy also. Not
and
crispy.
colored. Should not be colored.
Okay.
Because when you are finishing up and they are colored, they'll burn, like they'll be brown or too dark. Yes.
Okay.
So
all right, get to the fries.
Yes.
Slowly by slowly, you put them in.
Slowly and carefully.
Okay.
Yes. We don't want to burn ourselves.
Sometimes I worry about using gloves in the kitchen because there must be a lot of burning.
Not really.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. Yes. Right. Yes, but things like salads and everything else, they are not cooked, so you have to take great care and hygiene, so that we do not contaminate the food.
Okay, and there you go.
Yes.
Good, beautiful. Imagine, guys, we are doing this for about 45 minutes, but as the chef would put it, in 20 minutes you'll be able to achieve this, especially when you plan well. So say you're at home and you say that, Kesho, I don't want to get to Ngong Hills Hotel, so you can set some of these things.
Yes.
You call them mise en place.
Yes, mise en place.
Mise en place. Okay, yes. So mise en place, all this, say at night. So by the time it's morning, you just fixing them together, and boom, your family enjoys the best of a breakfast. Or better yet, you can say, let's do this for lunch. So at this time, COVID-19, most of the people are working from home. Why don't you treat yourself to this? Or make it even easier, march into Ngong Hills Hotel, as Terry would tell you, and enjoy the best of it. Yes, we're almost actually winding up.
Convenience.
Convenience is very important. And sometimes, people tend to think that, doing it at home, you're easy and but when you come here, you find that it's actually affordable. It's not as expensive as you would imagine, and in simple steps you get them.
But when something is being done by a professional,
it's a whole different thing.
Yes,
it's a whole different thing.
Less time, because at home you have a lot to do. Maybe you have kids, you have fries, hot oil, and everything.
It can be dangerous also.
Yeah.
Okay, it's true.
So the best thing is just come to Ngong Hills.
And then
yes.
Well, I am at your mercy, so I cannot say no. I have to dance to your tune. So simple, and they're ready.
Yes.
Boom. Okay.
When you blanch them,
serving.
They are cooked. To just make them crispy and a little bit golden brown.
Okay.
And you remove them. Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Don't leave them in the oil for too long, as they will burn or they will become too dark.
Okay.
And the outlook or the appearance will be not very nice.
Yes. Okay. So when we are at this point, how many more minutes would we require for us to finish this?
Just 10 minutes to be done.
10?
Yes.
Make it 8.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, it's all ready. I guess it will just
assembling
be
now.
Because of the serving and making it beautiful.
Yes.
So you're calling it assembling,
You assemble your plates.
Let me help you on that as you look at the other side.
Yes.
I think it's only fair that I also... Oops,
you work a little bit.
It's okay,
no problem. We'll get it out.
Let me get that.
So now we assemble here.
Yes. Yes, that is good. Anyhow, at least I am not that bad in the kitchen. I try also.
Yes.
Remember, it's good to drain the oil 100%, yeah?
Remove every drop.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to add in our egg, fried egg. Now the base is here, our pate with the cheese melted.
Okay.
The eggs, your bacon,
Is it as good as ready?
Yes, very, very ready. Touch it a bit, remove excess oil.
Here. I had to get myself doing something. Otherwise, what is the point of being in the kitchen as a woman and you're just standing there waiting to be served? Honestly, it is not fair, especially at a time when you also want to learn.
Yeah.
And so because I am learning, it is much easier and more effective when you learn while you're trying to equally do the arts. And so here we are.
So as we assemble this,
okay,
we put in. It is served with a salad also on the side.
Okay. Mixed salad. That is the chicken salad that we prepared earlier on.
For service, we do garden salad. We have garden salad.
Okay.
We do garden salad with our fries. Okay. So our fries go with garden salad. So on the side,
have that.
Yes.
And then you have our fries ready.
For the fries, we season them. Season.
Oh yeah, some salt, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, you have to add taste.
When we say season, remember it is having it with a little salt. I mean, fries without salt. What are these? What is that? Yeah.
Yes. A bit of fries.
I thought we had something like yogurt cream to make. How quick is that?
It's not long. That is a very simple step.
Okay.
Just mixing items together. You place it on your
glass or
yes,
something.
on your glass.
All right. I mean, you need a drink. You need a drink to do this.
To cool down.
To enjoy this with
our onions.
There you go. Boom.
A bit of onions.
It can look messy but beautiful, but very sweet also at the same time. Yeah.
Just a little bit of ketchup.
Okay.
On the side.
You have your ketchup on this.
Right on the side, just on top.
It's a busy activity.
Yes.
Here. But it is one to die for. I told you. I mean, you all thought that it's a joke until you see what it is that we're saying here. Yeah.
Yes.
I told you, Ngong Hills, much there. The burgers are incredibly
amazing.
Sweet. Okay. Boom.
And there we go. That is our burger here.
Okay, so we can have it on the other side.
Yes.
The drink, as fast as that is mine, my people. So that is beautiful. It's a whole deal. I'm telling you. How can you have this for breakfast? It's a bit too much. Yeah.
Yes.
I ate the first time I ate burger here. It was burgering. It was incredibly nice. It was sweet. It was one to die for. So I always say, well, if I have to do this burger, it has to be for lunch.
Yes.
Gong Hill burgers. There you go. You want to prepare something to drink along?
Yes.
Okay.
Get our
what do I get you?
Our mixing bowl.
Okay. It's on the other side, all right? So we have like 3 minutes to wind up.
Yes.
But in 3 minutes, we're able to achieve this.
Yes. Yes. And the mango juice over there.
The mango juice?
Yes.
Okay, we have the mango juice, yeah?
So in your bowl, you add in your yogurt.
Okay.
Add in your yogurt.
And the mango juice is there. Allow me to move around the kitchen as much as I want because it's big enough, and so we're good.
Mix it up together. And you're done. Yes. Simple steps,
but beautiful steps and very tantalizing. If there's such a word, I know there is such a word. That is to win. You get the best at the Gong Hills Hotel. Pretty simple, and you can as well make this at home. So,
yes, you're allowed.
I am actually allowed to eat, man. This is a whole big burger that you can actually have two of you and you still enjoy. Let me cross to the other side. And it is all set. I mean, exactly what you said.
Yes.
That it's how it looks.
Yeah.
So, where do we start?
We can start with our salad.
Okay.
As the starter. Then we go to the burger, beef burger, and
I mean, sometimes we need to teach these people as how to the knives and forks business. Which one goes first for the salad? Which one is for the soup? Which one is for what? This one is for dressing. This one I'm not supposed to eat.
Yeah, everything is edible. Yes, other than the plates. Sorry. Other than the plate, everything is edible.
And the knives and forks, other than those ones.
Yes.
Everything is edible.
Yes.
It can get messy, we said, but don't worry. You got you covered. Remember, it is the Tasty Wednesday Easter edition right here at the Gong Hills Hotel.
Yeah.
This one, even if my director or producer wants me to eat, I need to sit down, relax, and enjoy. Come on, Africa. My hands are clean, right?
Yes, no problem.
Or
we can use our
Okay, yes. This one is difficult. Like, this one gives me heart attacks for what? I think I was in the kitchen. Maybe I was just no, let's try this first. Nice. This is nice. This is good. Here we are. We don't take chances in the kitchen, so let me not say at you, I cleaned my hands before we started the process. No. It's a Ngong Hills Hotel. Terry, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, you're welcome.
We're having more and more sessions. I'm not going without eating. The director says I have to do this thing, man. But why are you frustrating me, Madam Director? Are you serious? That I'm supposed to do? So how do I do it? This way with it? There you go. At Ngong Hills Hotel, the best of burgers. I always say it's my favorite place. I always say when we fix this, it's for me to enjoy it, but it's for you to find out where you can find this. No other place than the Ngong Hills Hotel. Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome.
Thank you. See you again next time. On Friday, actually, we'll still be at the Ngong Hills Hotel from 6 a.m. all the way to 9 a.m. for the Easter edition. That is Good Friday and to Easter Monday edition. It's a wrap.